morning, everyone. This is actually Maura Dooley, and I have Lyle Goldstein here with me. Salk is out today, so we're going to be taking you through the first hour of the show. And then Brock Heward and Brady Henderson, ESPN Seahawks reporter, will be taking you through the rest of the day. So we will definitely be getting you primed for this huge matchup with the 49ers tomorrow. And then we will be talking also to Nick Wagoner, the ESPN 49ers reporter, at 8:30 today. So lots of time to dig into this matchup. Lyle, how you feeling this morning?
Good. Yeah. I mean, short week's always fun, right?
Yes. It's weird to be off on a Thursday and then come back on a Friday, though. Like yesterday felt like Sunday or something, didn't it?
Yeah, it's almost like you skip Saturday, where New Year's Eve feels like a Friday night, but then you just jump right into Sunday because your Saturday's cut out. Because you're right. You got to get ready for another show. So, yeah.
It's strange. Did you have a good New Year's Eve?
Yeah, it was fun. What about you?
Yeah. Pretty low key. We just went out to dinner and then hung out at the house, rung it in there. Were you out and about town?
Yeah, for the most part. We saw a few people when we were out and on.
Oh, some fans.
Well, just just people that we knew, I guess, and had run into in the past. But yeah, it was fun. But nothing too crazy. I don't have any Brock or Salk level stories to come on here on Friday and share.
Are you a New Year's resolution person?
Not really, because I feel like people that make New Year's resolutions usually don't stick with them. So if I have goals and aspirations for the year, I feel like I just kind of let them pop up throughout the course of the 12 months, rather than, people say at the start of the new year they want to go to the gym more, for example, and then people get a gym membership and then they stop going after 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I feel like that's an example of people who are New Year's resolution people and then let it go. Where I never wanted to be one of those people because I feel like it's a short-term thing. Are you?
Well, and for you and I that go to the gym regularly, it's always a really annoying time of year because it gets really crowded just for the month of January, and then it dissipates.
Right. Are you a resolution person?
I've done them in the past, but no. But I do think it's a good time of year to just kind of reflect on maybe if you do have some goals for that year. But I don't really like to actually set them and record it and make it a big thing.
No, that's how I am.
I think when the guys talked to Mike Macdonald on Monday, he said he wasn't a resolution guy either, right? Which was kind of surprising to me. Very detail oriented. I thought maybe he would be.
Although he almost feels like he'd be more in the camp of what I'm saying, where if he has goals for himself, he's not just setting them on January 1st every year. He's probably got them throughout the course of the year.
Yeah. I would think you have some goals for your baseball content.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, always. It's just, I don't know if they pop up on January 1st every year.
Yeah.
Which is why I kind of avoid the whole resolution thing.
That makes sense. We'll have a little baseball talk for you from Lyle in Need to Know. But as I said, we are going to mostly dig into this huge game for the Seahawks tomorrow with the number 1 seed in the NFC on the line. And I thought it was interesting, Lyle. I want to get your opinion on. We heard from both coaches this week on how big this game is. And they both had very different answers. This was Mike Macdonald's on with us on Monday.
It kind of is what it is. It's like we got to worry about that after. That's like a results process type of thing. It's like we can't be worried about the result of this game right now. We have to be worried about, when I get out of here, we're going to finalize our schedule for the week. And then, we've already met with, all 3 phases. So we should have minimal drag here all the way through tomorrow morning, lunchtime, to put a great plan together.
Minimal drag. But very much just one step at a time. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. And then this was Kyle Shanahan's response to whether this was a big game for them or not.
I definitely don't want to lose any players for the following week, knowing we're in the playoffs. But, I also look at when you're playing to play one less playoff game, you can look at that as a playoff game. I know the season's not over if we lose. But you still got to go play a game the next week on the road if you lose, and you can completely avoid that by winning. So I see this as a playoff game too.
No, I don't necessarily think the way that either coach speaks about it publicly or even privately to their team has that much of an impact on what's going to happen tomorrow, because I think the players know this is a big game no matter what. But I do think it's interesting just the different approaches that they're taking, because I think part of it might be that Shanahan has a more veteran, experienced team that's been to the playoffs numerous times in recent years. And Mike Macdonald is in his second year with this team, just really getting his culture established. And there's a lot of young guys that have not been in a playoff situation before. Maybe you don't want to say, like, hey, guys, this is huge. Don't mess it up. We really could use this bye.
Yeah, I think there's probably some validity to that. He did a similar thing before the Rams game, right? Where he said, look, I know in public, everybody's going to make this a big deal. In the media, everybody's going to make this a big deal. But to us, it's just another game, just another week we have to play, another opponent to try to take down, etc. Feels like he's doing a similar thing here when obviously everybody knows it's a big game. Where, yeah, that could definitely check out. He doesn't want anybody to get too high or too low for any game through 18 weeks of the year, even if internally everybody knows how much it means. Because I'm sure Mike Macdonald wants the bye. He just might not want to say it publicly or even internally to his team.
Yeah, I mean, we heard Kurt Warner talk about this. I think we played some sound earlier in the week that he thinks the NFC is a conference where you're going to face some scarier wild card teams than you are in the AFC. So you definitely want someone else to go into that wild card week and hopefully knock off a team for you. And then, of course, everyone wants the rest and the just chance to get healthy. Like Charles Cross is not going to play this week. We'll get into some of the injury updates and need to know coming up here in about 10 minutes. But if you have a chance to have another week off and possibly get Charles Cross back from that hamstring injury, of course you want that. But I do think that there is something to Mike Macdonald truly believing that they'll be fine no matter what, because this team has shown an adaptability and a resilience this season that they should have confidence in.
For sure. No doubt. I mean, look, if they were to have to play 3 games, I'm sure they'd be confident no matter what. But just your road to the Super Bowl shrinks without playing that one extra game. So, of course, like anybody would want the bye. I don't think they're going to shy away from it if they don't get it, but one less game is one less game. You have to win 2 games to get out of the NFC. It makes a big difference. And you get it all through your home stadium.
Well, looking at this actual matchup, I think we all agreed when we were talking with Salk before our little New Year's break that you really think it boils down to Mike Macdonald's defense versus Kyle Shanahan's offense. That's where the real scheming goes on both sides of the ball for these teams. And the Niners defense just isn't what it used to be with all the injuries and everything. So how are you feeling about that matchup? I mean, Daniel Jeremiah told us that this 49ers offense is humming, but I think we've seen enough from this Seahawks defense to believe that they can put a wrench in that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, outside of the Rams game, they just don't seem to be fazed by anybody, no matter who it is, no matter what skill players they have, even if they're stars. I know the Niners might be a little bit different because, again, they're fighting for a 1 seed just like the Seahawks are, but Brock Purdy struggled against Mike Macdonald, man, and he has run into some trouble when he's faced this defense and Macdonald defenses in the past, paired with the fact that even on the other side of the ball, in week 1, they faced Fred Warner and Nick Bosa and a bunch of those guys. They're not going to face them this time, and the defense is playing as well as it's played.
And even then, they only had 1 sack.
Yeah.
With Fred Warner and Nick Bosa. And to your point about Brock Purdy, as much as everyone still thinks Sam Darnold has a lot to prove, I still think Brock Purdy has something to prove too. He got that big contract, but I think there's a lot of people that aren't quite sold on him as a franchise quarterback that can take you to a Super Bowl and win either.
I think there's still fans in San Francisco that aren't totally sold on it either. So 100%. He'll have something to prove this week. Obviously, they've been a really high seed in the past, and they've had a bye in the past. But even still, like, to go against this defense when you've got everything up against it in Week 18, when you're fighting for the number 1 seed and the NFC West, yeah, I think Brock Purdy's got something to prove. And again, I think 100% it comes down to the best on best. I'm not saying the Seahawks offense versus the Niners defense won't play a factor, because it will, and both those sides are going to really have something to prove. But I think the 2 best units on the field and who wins that chess match between the other is going to be the difference maker in the game.
And we do have some injury updates that could end up being a factor in this game as well. So we're going to take you through all of that coming up next in Need to Know. It is a Football Friday powered by Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Stay tuned. We'll be bringing you those injury updates a little a little baseball news from Lyle and some college football coming up next. This is the Brock and Salk Show on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
All teed up.
It all comes down to this.
The final game of the regular season.
One game.
To decide who wins the NFC West Division.
And the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Meaning if the Seahawks win, the road to the Super Bowl runs through Lumen Field in Seattle.
You can't do that unless you win the next one.
Seahawks 49ers. Tomorrow. Kickoff at 5. Pregame at 2.
This should be fun.
On the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with 0 investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
The new year is finally here, and you could kick the new year off right by getting in shape and making Top Fitness your first stop. Hey, Brock, you're here with my friends at Top Fitness, where their stores are celebrating the new year with some great deals. You could take your New Year's resolution seriously with the very best fitness gear there is set up in your home by our professional installers. They sell the best quality products available. Brands like Precor, True, Octane, Inspire, and Hyrox. Come in now and check out the best deal of deals on treadmills. They're Precor 885 treadmills that are lease returns normally sell for over $13,000, now only $36.99, including a full 3-year warranty. This is the same commercial treadmill sold to health clubs worldwide. And every new treadmill, elliptical, and home gym, well, they're all on sale. They got the largest selection of home fitness equipment in Washington, and their staff will show you why. It's no secret why everybody from pro athletes to personal trainers love their stores. Locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
D.R. Horton's National Red Tag Sales Event is going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
I started Davis Law Group in 1994 to fight for the underdog. And as our team has grown, we've stayed true to that mission. Today, Davis Law Group is known for providing excellent service and even better results. Visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com to get your free book on car accident law.
It's your last chance to get Disney Plus, Hulu, and the ESPN app for one incredible price. With the ESPN app, you can watch some of football's biggest postseason games, including epic bowl matchups, the college football playoff, and NFL wild card and divisional playoff games. Get it all for $29.99 a month for 12 months. Visit Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPNBundle.com for details. Ad-supported plan auto-renews at regular price. Currently $35.99 a month. Subject to change unless canceled. Ends January 5th, 2026. Terms apply.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football. It's a pepper thing.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. Touchdown! Seahawks! Ken Walker III! Get everything Seahawks at seattlesports.com.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing.
Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with AutoPay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Want to make 2026 your year of adventure? Book that trip and learn a new language with Babbel. Go ahead, make a resolution you can stick to. Now is the time. Babbel's New Year sale is here. Unlock all of the languages on Babbel with the lifetime subscription for 65% off. Just go to Babbel.com and start today. Babbel teaches you relevant words and phrases, so you can start speaking with confidence in as little as 3 weeks. And because Babbel's bite-sized lessons fit easily into your daily routine and are easy to remember, you'll be talking like a local in time for takeoff. Dive into the world of language learning content with Babbel's videos, podcasts, and stories from around the world, full of culture bites and language learning tips. Turn your daydream into a destination this year with Babbel. But don't wait. This offer ends January 15th. Get Babbel's lifetime access for less at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
The Seahawks injury report Thursday was mostly good news. Charles Cross was the only player not to practice. He's been ruled out for Saturday's game, while Josh Jones and Kobe Bryant were limited. Bryant is listed as doubtful and Jones is questionable. But some very good news at wide receiver. Rashid Shaheed was a full participant and has no injury designation after suffering a concussion last week. So they will have a very big weapon that they did not have in the first meeting heading into this game. For the Niners, Christian McCaffrey is good to go with no injury designation after dealing with a back issue earlier this week. Offensive tackle Trent Williams, wide receiver Ricky Pearsall, cornerback Upton Stout, tight end George Kittle, and defensive end Keon White are all questionable for the 49ers. It will be a huge deal if Trent Williams does not go for them. One thing that has certainly been a focus heading into this Niners-Seahawks matchup is whether Seattle can avoid the turnovers that we've seen too many for comfort of recently. Clint Kubiak discussed that in his press conference yesterday.
Great question. Hell.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That was the wrong one. Let's try this one.
Yeah, it's not a number that we're proud of at all. Something that we're always preaching. Things that we gotta improve on. Obviously, we want to maximize our possessions, and we're giving away points when we give the ball away. So whether it's decision making, throwing the ball, holding on to it, and then protecting our quarterback so that we're not, getting sack fumbles. There's a lot of things that go on there, but something's got to get better if we want to be a championship team.
I found that cut interesting, Lyle, because Brock and Salk got into a little bit of a heated debate on our last show about whether you do make the turnovers a focus. Brock seemed to be of the mindset that you almost don't want to draw attention to it and get in Darnold's head about turning the ball over. And Salk said, no, you need to figure out, at least have a plan of a way to make that stop, even if you're not addressing it directly. But it sounds like that's been a direct thing they've talked about.
And it seems to some degree that it's worked. I mean, the last few weeks, they haven't lost any turnover battles. And some of that's because I think they've gone a little bit more conservative offensively since that Rams game. But Hawkblogger was talking about that and tweeted out some stuff about it. That, yeah, in the last few weeks, they've not lost any turnover battles, and they keep winning as a result. So clearly it's registered with Sam Darnold, at least to some degree.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Right, a lot of college football playoff action since we were last on the station on Wednesday morning. Alabama was dominated 38-3 by Indiana in the Rose Bowl New Year's Day. The Hoosiers put up 407 total yards to Bama's 193. Heisman Trophy winner Fernando Mendoza threw for 192 yards and 3 touchdowns. Running back Roman Hemby rushed for 89 yards and a touchdown. And fellow running back Kalen Black rushed for 99 yards and this 25-yard touchdown in the fourth quarter.
2nd down and 8 from the Bama 25-yard line. Kalen Black gets the call again. Gets through the middle 20-yard line to the 15, powers to the 10, and races into the end zone for a touchdown. 25-yard touchdown run for Kalen Black. And the party is on in Pasadena for the Indiana Hoosiers.
This is Indiana's first college football playoff win. They will face Oregon in the Peach Bowl January 9th. Oregon also won their game in dominant fashion Thursday with a 23-0 win over Texas Tech. Oregon's defense caused 4 turnovers, with freshman cornerback Brandon Finney having quite the game, coming up with 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery. This was his second interception on a 3rd and goal in the 4th quarter.
All those hopeful fans who have traveled to South Florida. 3rd and goal to the end zone. They go. It is intercepted, and it's Finney again.
The Ducks were also very aggressive on 4th down, going 4 for 8 on the day. As I said, they will face Indiana in the Peach Bowl on January 9th. Last night, Ole Miss beat Georgia 39-34. I know, Lyle, you said you were having some fun with Lane Kiffin at that game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy to see the guy lose. He took it upon himself to show up at a game for your old team, and you're live tweeting about it, being like, you know, go Rebels, and shout out to Trinidad Chambliss, our quarterback. And it's like, dude, you left for the money. Like, you can move on. He was also trying to get on the broadcast over the week. There was a couple reports about that. He was trying to hop on the ESPN broadcast. It's just all a little much. Like,
it reminds me of G. You know how G always does the relationship analogies, and he's not going to be here with us at 8:30 today because he is in San Francisco for the game. But yeah, it's like, you broke up with us. Let us move on.
Exactly.
Leave us alone.
Yeah, exactly. You made your decision. You made your call. You dug your grave. Just now live in it. So I was really happy to see Ole Miss win, because I think that's a great, great story if they continue to win without Lane Kiffin. And yeah, now they're moving on. You saw all 3 Blue Bloods lose this weekend because Ohio State lost by 10 to Miami, 24-14. So
24-14 on Wednesday. Utah also beating Nebraska 44-22 on Wednesday, and Texas defeated Michigan 41-27.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Well, there's a little bit of baseball news over the last couple days. One notable free agent signed, and he signs in division, as Tatsuya Imai is going to Houston, of all places. So he signs a 3-year deal, $54 million. It can get up to $63 million in incentives. The key here is it's a very classic Scott Boras type contract, because he has opt-outs after every year in these 3 years. So if you're Imai, it basically can't go any more perfect for you, where if you don't pitch well, you've got 3 years of serious guaranteed money, and if he has a good first year, he'll be out of there in a year. So if you're a Mariners fan worrying about this guy playing in your division, I would say this: either he's going to pitch well for 1 year and leave, or he just won't be that good and it won't be that much of an effect. So
okay,
that'll be a little interesting to watch. I do laugh a little bit because a big story around this guy is he said, no, I don't want to join the Dodgers like everybody else that's come from Japan. I want to go beat them. So he takes it upon himself to join the Astros. So I'm sure Dodger fans love it. I'm sure he loves it. He's an interesting personality. I'll be interested to hear more from him when he starts playing and he's here stateside, because he seems like a pretty feisty guy. And I know a lot of those guys that come over from Japan take it upon themselves to be a little bit more reserved. They don't like to say as much publicly, where he seems to like to talk a lot publicly. So I think it's really interesting.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. Also, one little Mariners note. As of yesterday, Luis Castillo's no trade clause expired. So that was the day in his contract where he can't block a trade to other teams anymore. Now he doesn't have a say. Do I think the Mariners are going to trade him at this point? No, it seems like they're pretty set on rolling with their 5 guys. But it is just interesting to note, in case something were to pop up over the next few weeks where he would potentially be involved in something. Again, I don't think he will. I think they just end up keeping him. But it's just something to, I would say, take note of.
Yeah, that's an interesting note. Also, the Kraken defeated the Predators 4-1 last night. Matty Beniers had 2 goals. Jamie Alexiak and Jared McCann scored the others. They are back at it tonight in Vancouver. That's everything you need to know. Coming up next, we're gonna listen back to something we did Wednesday, because having Brock on this show means that we get some pretty good access to guests. And we had an interview with Joe Buck that was phenomenal, and took a look at this game with him. So we want you to take a listen to that next. And then after that, Brady Henderson and Brock Heward will be in to take you the rest of the way, digging into this matchup. It's a Football Friday brought to you by Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You're listening to the Brock and Salk Show on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
The one and only Mark Schlereth with Wyman and Bob.
Brock Purdy. I feel like that guy's almost never going to get respect. He's always going to be, Mr. Irrelevant.
I think that's a lot of Sam Darnold as well, is that you have this kind of predetermined vision in your head of what he is, because maybe, Brock just doesn't have the size, the stature. Sam certainly has the size and stature. Brock doesn't. But, man, Brock can get through a progression like nobody's business.
On Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I was able to achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You'll feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. I'm surprised and relieved every time I look in the mirror. You need to know what that feels like. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there is no one I would trust more than Advanced Hair Restoration. I experienced their exceptional standard of care firsthand. Your comfort and your results are the top priority of the entire Advanced Hair team. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185. Discover what meeting your resolutions could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Getting more as a My Lowe's Pro Rewards member is easier than ever with the Lowe's app. Download it today and earn 500 points the first time you log in. Plus, your digital wallet helps you scan, save, earn, and access what you need to manage it all in one place. Download the Lowe's app and take advantage of your Pro benefits today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid 12/1/25 through 1/7/26. Offer valid for first login per organization only. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Additional restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice.
DayandNight.net.
Day and Night gives you a free furnace or water heater with installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace or water heater from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
Did you know in Washington State, you can see a physical therapist without a referral from your doctor? That's right. Thanks to Direct Access, you can skip the wait and get the care you need right away. Shannon O'Kelly, how has Direct Access changed the game?
Direct Access for us, Brock, is a game changer. Why? Is because there is so much research and data out there that says if you get in early when you have a musculoskeletal problem or an injury, the earlier you get in and we can start care, the better outcomes and the decreased downstream cost, okay? So it's so important. Our providers are all doctors of physical therapy. They're all trained to identify situations and problems. They've got the skill, they've got the talent, they've got the knowledge. If you get in and start therapy early, we're going to get you back to activity, pain-free, and moving and having fun.
Fast, easy, effective. Direct access is your path to better movement, starting with a single step. Visit irgpt.com to schedule your appointment today. irgpt.com.
Toyota of Kirkland is celebrating Toyotathon with an inventory sale down on all 2025 RAV4s, the vehicle that's built for adventure and designed for your everyday life. 2025 gas RAV4s, 2025 hybrid RAV4s, all 2025 RAV4s are available at Toyota of Kirkland this Toyotathon for an inventory sale down. Come check out their amazing showroom, the wonderful staff, get a test drive, and take that 2025 RAV4 home the same day. Stop in today or visit online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
More than 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide a lifeline to breast and gynecologic cancer patients, and you can help us make a difference. Join us for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration on January 31st at Mary Hill Winery in Woodinville's Wine Country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
One of the only disappointments of this Seahawks season so far, Brock, is that we haven't had Joe Buck and Troy Aikman once on the call until, I think, this Saturday night.
Guess what?
What?
Guess what? I'm going to guess next year.
Yeah.
The Seahawks will be in prime time
a little bit more than they were this year.
I think maybe they gained a little trust. Sam Darnold, JSN, the Steve fans.
They get another Monday night game. They won't get like a two games at once situation like we had this year. Joe Buck joining us now. Good morning, Joe.
Well, I'm glad you guys care, first of all. Maybe you're the only two, but, it took a Week 18 Saturday night game, and I love the fact that you guys are in the clips that we get. I read the clips yesterday about your thoughts on the Saturday night game. Brock, you were of the yes, but it's a quick turnaround. Mm-hmm. But then I heard the other side of the story, which is, then you get a little bit extra time to recoup prior to the playoffs because you get the Saturday game. I'm just impressed that the two of you have an opinion worthy of being in the clips.
Wow.
That I get that we get every day.
Who creates those clips?
It's on Sports Scan, so I don't know.
Wow,
Salk, I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you. I honestly, this is quite an ego boost heading into the new year. I'm very very excited about it. But it's true. I think the Saturday game. First of all, it's a great window. The Saturday primetime game is. I don't know. I love that opportunity to be on in front of the country, and then the extra day of rest on the back end. I don't know. I think it's a great time slot.
Yeah, well, I love it. I mean, trust me. We were sitting around in our meeting room last week, wherever we were, Atlanta, and going through all the different scenarios, and it just felt like, we were going to end up with Tampa, Carolina, which would have been fine. I mean. Fine. I love a win and in scenario. Now we kind of have the extra wrinkle now with the Atlanta Falcons that if they win, Carolina wins their division no matter what happens in the earlier game on Saturday. And then we thought, well, maybe we get Steelers-Ravens, which would have been great. But there's just something to me about this game and the season stories for these two teams and kind of the spectacle of the NFC West and what that division has been all year and the number one seed on the line. And I don't know, it's got a great feel. And I know I speak on behalf of everybody on our crew that we are just pumped to be able to finally see the Seahawks and do this game. It's going to be awesome.
What's that building like in Santa Clara, Joe, from a game day experience, noise, everything standpoint?
Well, I mean, you guys are kind of in a class of your own with what goes on in your home stadium. I think, with the fans and the 12s and even the architecture of the stadium, I think plays into it. It is intense. And there are times where as a play-by-play guy, and being in the booth, it's hard to be heard. And when it's hard to be heard, I think it's a pretty good rule to not try to talk. So I find myself a lot of the time laying out when I'm doing a game in Seattle, in a week 18 or in a champ game or whatever it might be. And then, Santa Clara is good. I think it measures up. I think, again, Seattle is kind of in its own category in the NFL with that stuff, and it's well documented. But Santa Clara can get loud, and that place, I think they'll be fired up. I think this is a San Francisco fan base that has to be really proud of what their team's done. I know you guys don't want to hear it, but to go through the injuries that they've gone through, every team's got injuries. Nobody's crying a river for any other team. But when you lose your starting quarterback for 8 games and you lose Fred Warner and you lose Nick Bosa and you don't have Ayuk all year and, whatever it's been, 6 or 7 games that Kittle's missed and on and on and on. And then you lose Trent Williams last week. It's a lot. I think it's been an incredible job by Kyle Shanahan to steer this team into a kind of winner take the one situation here in week 18.
One of the interesting challenges from a sports media perspective in town here is trying to give this team its own due and not constantly comparing them to the Legion of Boom team from a decade ago. When I think of those teams, you guys called a ton of those games on Fox and big NFC games that the Seahawks were in. Have you had an opportunity to kind of get to know this team, or maybe specifically Mike Macdonald and some of the new personality that they're bringing to it?
I remember we were doing a production call with the Ravens, and we were talking to Mike. This is obviously a couple of years ago, and we were saying, well, I know you're here, you're young. I mean, you're going to be a head coach in this league. He's awesome. He's been great to us. And I said it or Troy said it, like, we're going to do our best to get you a job on, Monday night, whatever game we were doing. And then their PR staff got on afterward. They're like, hey, can you guys just cool it and chill? We want to keep this guy around. But he obviously has zero to do with anybody other than Mike Macdonald. He is a 10 out of 10. He's brilliant. He brought a lot to the Ravens when he came back there. I still think they miss him, obviously. What he's done there with Seattle is remarkable. It's a defense that flies around. You guys know it way better than I do. It's an offense that, I know there have been slow starts and all that, but Jackson Smith and Jigba and the kind of year that he's put together, I know it's tapered off a hair, but it almost had to with the way he started the season. And Sam Darnold, everybody wants to look at the faults and the turnovers and what have you. But, I mean, he was the quarterback on a team that won 14 games last year, and he's a quarterback on a team the year later that is going to at least win 13. It's fantastic, and he's one of the league's really good guys. So there's no sell job on me. There's no sell job on Troy. I can't wait to watch them play in person. I feel like I've watched them 10 times on TV. But to actually be in the stadium and feel them flying around defensively in that, front 6, front 7, whatever you want to call it, I think is going to be, it's going to jump off the screen and jump off the field for me watching it. I'm excited about that.
Joe, I want to get to Sam here in a little more depth in just a second, but I want to play this cut. And this is, you mentioned earlier, a little broadcasting 101 of when the crowd noise comes, you kind of quiet down. I want to play this cut. This was from the game the other night. We played it a few times yesterday on the show and loved it. Here was Bijan's touchdown run, and I got a follow-up.
Here's Robinson, right side. Nice cutback. He's gone. Can anybody catch him? Not tonight. McCreary chasing. Won't get their touchdown, Atlanta.
So cool between you and Troy. So Salk and I have been doing this for 17 years, off and on a few times. He left for a little sabbatical. I left for a little podcast, but basically 17 years. We still love doing it every morning. That little clip right there, the little back and forth between you and Troy, it feels like you guys are having as good a time as you've ever had, just from afar.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I feel that. And that's good. I mean, this is year 24. And I think You know, I don't know the rules of being an analyst. I've worked with a lot of great ones. Very rarely has Troy ever jumped in like that.
Yeah. Right.
During a call. You know, he's very good about that. I feel like on calls, he just lets me go. And then after the play, I just let him go. So very rarely do the two of us kind of combine forces on that. And that was great. That made me smile while I was listening to it. I had forgotten that he jumped in there because it's about listening, and it's about him, you know, listening to me say, will anybody catch him? And then him in an instant going, not tonight. That's awesome. So whether it's us or anybody else, I think that back and forth, when it works, is really good. It can be clunky when it doesn't, or when you're talking over each other, then it becomes like, you know, the drumsticks falling on the ground and everybody dropping their instruments, and it doesn't sound good at all. But when it works like that, and again, I mean, you guys played it. I'm not, you know, patting ourselves on the back. But I do like that call because of exactly what you said. I think there's a good combo going on there.
Making music, man. Benetti and I would talk about that. You know, just making music, and you guys have done it for a long time.
Well, then I got to jump in. We got so many more football things, but Brock, you realize that Joe's going into the Hall of Fame? Ford Frick Award.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Which one?
Well, maybe. Maybe the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with the drumstick analogy. I don't know. Maybe that's to come one day. Their voting is a little obtuse, it seems, at times. But no, this is such a huge honor, and you're going to be the first father-son duo ever in the Hall of Fame. How stoked are you about this?
Well, very. I mean, I was floored. I can't go anywhere that my dad hasn't already been. That's both in the profession and, it turns out, outside the profession, but that's for a conversation off the air. But yeah, I mean, he's blazed the trail for me. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. And I say it and I mean it. I mean, he took me everywhere. I was in every National League city by the time I was 12. I paid attention as a kid. I wanted to be him. He was my best friend. So there's none of that kind of animosity or trying to get out of my dad's shadow. I like living in it. I like being in it. I'm comfortable in it. I'm just glad it happened now, if it was ever going to happen, because my mom is still here and she can enjoy having her husband and now her son in you know, a very small part of Cooperstown. So, I mean, I loved every minute of calling baseball nationally. You know, you're not doing it to be loved. We've talked about that before. My dad got it. He did it 2 years on TV with Tim McCarver. And one time he and my mom got back to their room in Pittsburgh during an NLCS, and there was a footprint in the middle of his pillow in the hotel because they thought he was rooting against the Pirates. It's kind of a weird existence when everybody thinks you're rooting against their team, but I still enjoyed the hell out of it, and I miss it to some degree, but I'm happy doing what I'm doing now, and to get this honor, you know, is really cool.
Well, we've spent a lot of time on this show, as you can imagine, with Sam. Sam Darnold as a quarterback can be confounding at times. He is great talk radio because he can be as good as anybody, and then he can have some real struggles, and it's real obvious to the eye with the giveaways and leading the league with 20 of those this season. But you said it earlier, and it's what I've said to Salk a bunch, and actually we opened the show about the locker room and how much of a role that's played, Joe, in this season, because he is just a great dude. How important in your 24 years of being around Troy and Troy's, you know, conversations and opinions about all these quarterbacks through all these decades, how important in your estimation is being a great dude?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I don't think you come in as a free agent and you get the big money and you walk in, and I think the eyes are all on you when you walk in the door. And then the question is, what kind of a guy is he? Because obviously a lot of those people in the locker room had never met him. And it takes about 2 minutes to be around Sam to, you know, want to root for him. I know that just from covering him. You like the good guys, and he's on that list. By the way, the list of the other side is not that long. But, you know, there's some that rub rub teammates or rub the media or rub the fans or the wrong way. And that is the opposite of Sam. He's just a very humble, hardworking guy that's had this circuitous route to being a high-paid quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, and good for him because he's put all the work in. I know him a little bit because of Jordan Palmer, who he works with. I'm good friends with Jordan, and I was hearing about Carson when he was coming out of college, and we know what happened with the Jets. I think the time with San Francisco really benefited him, and then being with Kevin O'Connell, launched him into this contract, and here they are, one win away from the number one seed the very next season. So the body of work speaks for itself, but as far as a person, they just don't come any better than him.
I like that word circuitous. It certainly describes his route to get here, but he doesn't seem to be the only quarterback who's taking a mixed up, confusing journey to success right now. What do you think is happening in the end? Why is it taking these guys so long in the reclamation projects? What do you think is happening?
Why is it taking us all such a short time to declare everybody awful? I think that's the bigger question. And then what situation are they in? Troy said it the other day on the pregame show, and I was glad that he voiced it because he and I talk about it all the time. I mean, look at Mac Jones. He got drafted by the Patriots and had initial success, but then you look at the coaching, you look at the decisions that were made with who was in charge of coaching him and the offensive coordinator in that odd situation that they had with split duties there before he was gone from New England. Spends a year in Jacksonville, and now he comes to Kyle Shanahan, and wow, somehow he's good. I mean, is that a lucky thing, or is that maybe that Kyle Shanahan's a really good coach and can put guys in a position to succeed?
Malik Willis may be in the same spot after a year or two in Green Bay.
Absolutely. And look at, Malik. Yeah. Did you just say, sorry, you cut out there?
No,
Malik
I did.
Willis?
Yes. Malik Willis. Same deal. Yeah.
I mean, he's right at the top of the list with Matt LaFleur, another great offensive coach, and somebody that can put guys in position to succeed and almost resurrect or rehabilitate a career. And I think it shines a light more on where these guys started than who they are now. And it's more of an indictment on kind of the situation they were drafted into. So I think we're all very quick, and I am too, of just saying, this guy's no good. Who's next? Who's next? And it's not fair to the player. It's not fair to the person. We all, I think, forget that these are human beings at times, and they mature at different rates. And again, their circumstances and surroundings are a huge piece of this. So I'm glad Geno Smith, another guy on that list. It's not just time in the league; it's also circumstance and where they end up and who they end up with. That then it clicks, and you're just hoping to find that player, and it seems like the same guys keep finding that player. So maybe it's the guys that are coaching him as much as it is the player.
Hey, Joe, last thing for me here, just as we get to Saturday night, just a couple things from your perspective that you're just most excited to watch, right? You just know, these 60 minutes, this is going to unfold. That has a chance to unfold. Just a few things storyline-wise or matchup-wise or just to your eye-wise that you're excited to watch Saturday night.
I just think it's a pretty clear-cut situation of Seattle, their offense against a defense that doesn't have a future Hall of Famer in Fred Warner and a 5-time Pro Bowl defensive end in Nick Bosa. They may not have their nickel corner, who's a really good rookie, Upton Stout. They're injured. And to see what can be done with Seattle's offense against that defense that was in that track meet against Chicago, and then flip it and see, what San Francisco can do with this offense. Brock Purdy has put back-to-back 5-touchdown games together. They're rolling. He's never played better, but they're really injured. What they can do against this Seattle defense. So it's pretty easy from where I sit, just to see who's going to win that battle, when Seattle has the ball and when San Francisco has the ball, and who can score points when they have the chance. Two really good coaches, and I don't know. It feels like a really evenly matched game going in.
Well, we're excited, obviously, here in Seattle to watch this thing and see where it goes. Love the Saturday night primetime window, and love that you and Troy are on the call. Seriously, congrats again on the Ford Frick Award. It is so cool. I mean, Dave Niehaus was the winner of the Ford Frick Award, I think, in 2008, and for years was known as the Hall of Famer here, and probably the greatest broadcaster in Seattle history, and just a legend. And you're in that group now with all of these incredible, legendary baseball broadcasters. Pretty amazing. Congratulations, Joe.
Thank you. I am going to go see my psychologist and have another session with my imposter syndrome to see if I can even accept the award in July, but wish me luck on that.
Yeah, well, we'll do what we can to get in the clips more this week.
Yeah,
all right?
absolutely.
We'll really
I'll say
try to do
something
that.
really outlandish.
Oh, you can get in the clips. It's just you may lose your job, but
Right.
you can get in the clips any week you want.
Yeah, we can hot take this sucker if we need to, Brock. See if we can come up with something crazy and dumb to say and hopefully get on TV on Saturday night. Joe, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, guys. See ya.
I don't know, Lyle. I don't think Joe Buck should have shared with them that they made his clips that prep him for the game, because you could just immediately see Salk's head blow up like 10 sizes.
Yeah,
I was feeling pretty good after that.
That was a little bit of an ego boost for those guys. Yeah, I would say.
I think they enjoyed that one. No, that's pretty cool actually to hear that something from our show made it into a package that's getting Joe Buck prepared for the game. Lyle, I wanted to talk to you. We only have like a couple minutes here, and then we're going to go to break and bring in Brady Henderson and Brock Ewert. But you sent something last night about how Jackson Smith-Njigba has a chance to break Calvin Johnson's NFL receiving record. But I don't know. He needs 255 yards. The record's 1,964 yards, and he's at 1,709 yards. The Niners have not been, as strong of a defense. We've talked about that. They did allow Luther Burden of the Bears to go for 138 yards last week. They allowed Michael Wilson when they played the Cardinals to go for 185. But do you actually think Jackson Smith-Njigba can break this record?
I mean, didn't I send in our email prefacing it with, this seems like a total long shot and is probably unlikely, to be fair? Now, this is a man that once went for 350 yards in a Rose Bowl, so I guess don't count anything out. But in the NFL, in a Week 18, I don't know if I'd be banking on it. It would be pretty cool. I don't know if it's 100% out of the question, but of course, to have a 255-yard day, you can put it at 1% odds.
How close do you think he gets? I could see him going for like 130.
Yeah, that feels right, especially against the Niners defense that struggled. Lenore will probably shadow him. Well, that's not true. I don't know if he'll shadow him. I'm sure he'll be on him at times. But even with that, I don't see why he can't break 100 yards in this game. That's for sure, and even get a little bit more than that. But that would leave him anywhere from, 120 to 150 yards short, which, again, is still an unbelievable year, and he still very well might win Offensive Player of the Year.
That's kind of the one of the sad parts about these slower offensive starts that they've had, is it feels like it put that out of reach for Jackson Smith-Njigba when there was a point this year where it seemed like he was almost certainly going to break that record.
I mean, he was on pace for it, that's for sure. And it was getting really exciting when you started to think about it. But you're right. Again, ever since the Rams game, when they've really started to lean on the run a lot more, that's when the pace started to tail off. Because, again, they just wanted to focus more on the ground attack.
And obviously, he's still been so incredible that it really puts into context what Calvin Johnson accomplished, considering he did it in a shorter season as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can argue Megatron's the greatest receiver ever. So what can you say about the guy? I mean, I remember him in a regular season game. He went for 330 yards. So I was talking about JSN doing that in a college game, even though it was a game as high up as the Rose Bowl. But when Calvin Johnson would do that in the NFL against NFL type defenses, I mean, he was a freak. He's, if not the greatest, one of the greatest to ever do it.
Well, hopefully this is just the beginning of Jackson Smith and Jigba headed in that direction in his career, and they're obviously going to need a big game from him tomorrow. We're going to keep digging into that matchup and much more with Brock Heward and Brady Henderson taking over next. We've got Nick Wagoner, ESPN 49ers reporter at 8:30. Stay tuned. This is the Brock and Salk Show on Seattle Sports on the Seattle Sports app.
All teed up.
It all comes down to this.
The final game of the regular season.
One game.
To decide who wins the NFC West Division.
And the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Meaning if the Seahawks win, the road to the Super Bowl runs through Lumen Field in Seattle.
You can't do that unless you win the next one.
Seahawks 49ers tomorrow. Kickoff at 5. Pregame at 2.
This should be fun.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Want to make 2026 your year of adventure? Book that trip and learn a new language with Babbel. Go ahead, make a resolution you can stick to. Now is the time. Babbel's New Year sale is here. Unlock all of the languages on Babbel with the lifetime subscription for 65% off. Just go to Babbel.com and start today. Babbel teaches you relevant words and phrases, so you can start speaking with confidence in as little as 3 weeks. And because Babbel's bite-sized lessons fit easily into your daily routine and are easy to remember, you'll be talking like a local in time for takeoff. Dive into the world of language learning content with Babbel's videos, podcasts, and stories from around the world, full of culture bites and language learning tips. Turn your daydream into a destination this year with Babbel. But don't wait. This offer ends January 15th. Get Babbel's lifetime access for less at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Look, it's never too early to plan for retirement, right? Whether it's decades away or maybe just around the corner, Trajan Wealth's fiduciary advisors can ensure you feel prepared for this financial shift. It's Mike Salk here, and my friends at Trajan Wealth offer tailored insights and strategies designed specifically for investors with $500,000 or more in savings looking for ways to optimize those funds. Start with an introductory meeting. That's what I did. They'll explain their strategy, which is tailor-made to your specific needs and goals. They'll help you with the accumulation phase of life, which most of us are in now, but then also with the plans for using that money in retirement and beyond. All without paying more than your fair share in taxes, right? Super helpful for someone like me who doesn't exactly spend every day staring at stock quotes. Call the fiduciary advisors at Trajan Wealth today to schedule your free consultation at 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300 or TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC. SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired
scared at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get in the freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to accuse you of manager.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Hello!
Well, it's Brock and Salk, the hitman in for Salk. He's got to use that vacation, Brady. I mean, he just has not been on vacation enough, so he's got to use that vacation.
Use it or lose it, pal.
Yeah, use it or lose it. We will chat with old Salky about 9:30 or so. You two could have hung out today, but nope, you decided on this Football Friday, powered by Snoqualmie Casino, that you had to be here. You had to talk about this big game, and we're going to spend a whole bunch of time talking about it, talking about the big games last night, some great football yesterday, some compelling football. I had to take the Sugar Bowl to really get to that. But I have to start here, Brady. I got to ask you a personal question, and it's not about love or relationships or anything that will make you squirm. All right, this is a personal question. I asked the same thing to Hawk Blogger the other day when he came on. I said, is it really possible to do your job and not have a rooting interest?
Oh, absolutely.
Like if there is a spectrum, and on one side of the spectrum is the fanatic, that isn't going to sleep tonight, that is going to be sick to his stomach all day, that's going to be so anxious, that's going to have his gear all laid out, he's going to be all ready to go, face paint at home on his couch. And then on the other end is, John Clayton, except for with the Steelers. John Clayton, when it came to the Seahawks, he didn't really care. He covers all the teams, has no rooting interest. If that's the spectrum, where is Brady Henderson on that spectrum?
I mean, people don't believe me when I tell them this, especially knowing that I grew up in Seattle, but I'm right there with John Clayton.
Are you really?
That's not to say I'm not excited for this game. I mean, I am so freaking pumped to be able to cover this game. It is like, I love my job. I love covering every game, but especially the massive ones like this with so many compelling storylines. And I will give you this.
Okay.
I have not played in 16 football games this season, but I have covered 16 of them with a lot of road trips. I would not mind a weekend off. But in terms of any rooting interest, like out of allegiance, no, I mean, my job is to cover the team, and
So even if you know it helps your ratings, even if you know it helps your clicks, even if you know it sets you up for bigger games and the number one seed, and the numbers will tell you a 50% chance with number one seeds to get to a Super Bowl, even knowing all the incentives that do come and are tied, and I would imagine in some ways, into your job. I mean, you do an incredible job. So does Nick Wagoner, who's going to join us at 8:30, your peer from the Bay Area in San Fran. But I'd have to imagine that, with winning teams comes a little more viewership, comes especially in this market. We feel it on the radio. We know it. We've watched it for all these years. And when the Mariners go bonkers and the Seahawks go bonkers, our ratings go bonkers, and everybody wants to be a part of it. So even if, or maybe you tell me, no, Brock, actually at ESPN, it's not that way. It doesn't really matter that, I don't know, the Raiders person in my job gets as many clicks and as many read articles as I do on mine. And it really, there isn't much incentive in that.
Definitely, and especially in this market, people want to read about the winning team. So your clicks, so to speak, it does help in that regard. But, we get paid all the same no matter what. So the thing is, you definitely do get more TV opportunities when you are covering a compelling winning team, and I've got one coming up this afternoon. As a matter of fact, I'll be live from Seahawks headquarters. On the 3 p.m. Sports Center at some point in that hour, I believe. And
you look good when you do
one.
those. Can I just tell you that? You look
Appreciate
good.
that.
I mean, you get suited, you get booted. I don't know who puts that together for you, if that's just your own eye, if you got a stylist. I don't know who.
No stylist, yeah.
No stylist?
That would not surprise a lot of people. Some people don't like the hooded sweatshirt, the dress hoodie underneath the sport coat. Yeah, so not quite suited and booted, but I do, from the waist up. You never know what I could be wearing.
Would it surprise you that I'm on the other end of that spectrum?
You're full tie. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
You're a pro.
No. I'm very fanatical when it comes to that spectrum thing. And some of it is, tied a little bit, as I said, to the station and the ratings and revenue and all that stuff that comes with it. But I think also I was thinking about this. I think it does go back to like 2005. And I didn't know you would make that last point that you did. But in 2005, I started kind of doing some of the media stuff, some pregame and postgame Seahawks radio with Paul and Dory and Dave and Sam and Time of Our Lives, Matt Stretch Johnson. And as the Seahawks got good, guess what I got to do?
TV.
I got to do some TV. Yeah. And they had something called the Hot List back in the day, where ESPN had oodles of money and couldn't spend it enough, fast enough. And they would get all of us, and I would go down to Como News, and I would do a live hit on TV, like on the hot list every week. And as they kept winning, it's like, oh, I get to do more. I get to do more. I get to do more. And quite honestly, Brady, like that timing could not have been better. Chris Egan and I did the Phone Zone that year, right? And as the team makes their run all the way to the Super Bowl, it too went like bonkers on cable news. Like, when you have a team that is winning and you have these stakes and you have these kind of games, I don't know, man. It just elevates everything, including my heart rate come tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And what I think is going to be, by all accounts, a very, very competitive, compelling game.
My goodness. Yeah. I mean, this is such a fun game to be able to cover. And like that I should say, I have no rooting interest, but it is so fun to be able to cover these games and this is a fun team to cover. And, I have to cough here. Excuse me.
Yeah, no problem. Why is this one? Why would you say this one is fun to cover?
Because there's a lot of newness there. Like Pete Carroll was a great coach to be able to cover, really helpful for, us and what we do in the media every day. But, there was it covered him for 14 years, and there weren't, I feel like you had covered a lot of the ground that there is. And with the second-year head coach with an almost, not in brand new roster, but there's been a lot of turnover on that roster the last few years. There's just a lot of fresh stories that you haven't written before, and it's fun to be able to dive into those and to tell them. And that's the other part of that is like, I don't root for them one way or another. That's the God's honest truth, but it is really fun to be able to cover a winning team and a team that looks like it's got a good chance at going to the Super Bowl. And obviously what happens tomorrow night at Levi Stadium is going to go a long way in determining what happens there.
I heard some of your peers on the local level that cover the Seahawks. I think a few of them referenced Sam yesterday, who had his press conference, as he does every single week, and timing-wise, a couple days before kickoff. Heard a bunch of folks say he was actually fun-loving. There was actually a little, let the guard down a little bit, not to read too much into it, but did you find Sam, a little bit maybe lighter and not stressing and not gripping the ball maybe as tight as you would think on the precipice of the biggest game of this season, certainly?
He was definitely light and loose, but I would say he was no different than what he typically is. So, he I'll just kind of give you some behind the scenes. So he, they're coming off the practice field, and he's, walking up towards the lectern in the, the indoor practice facility where he was doing his press conference yesterday. And he realizes that he doesn't have a hat. So he makes a comment about, how's my hair or whatever, just kind of half joking. And then I think Brian asked him a question about something that happened last year. And he, made the New Year's joke about, wait, are we talking last year, or last year is in like 2025, 2024. And then I asked him about his doppelganger, Stan Darnold, and he had some fun with that. So, yeah, he was, I would say, if you were wondering about is Sam Darnold going to be like super tight and just not even cracking a smile because this is the biggest game of the year, that was not the case at all.
Yeah. Anything lastly before we'll get to need to know? And I got some things to get off my chest at the bottom of the hour, and Blue 88 and all sorts of fun football today. Anything else jump out to you this week at all, or was it totally business as usual? I know it was a little a little tweaked because of the Saturday night kick and everything else. But was there anything that stood out to Brady Henderson, who's covered this team for years, and in this season and this amazing journey they've been on? Were they lighter? Were they tighter? Were they fresher? Could you feel if a total stranger, covered the team with you this week and covered the team week 5, would they have felt any difference at all?
Honestly, no. And it definitely was weird because the schedule got thrown around, and I had to turn to Brian Nemhauser yesterday and say, what is it, Wednesday? What day is it? He goes, no, it's Thursday. So aside from the weird funkiness of the schedule being switched around, it really was no different. I mean, I was in the locker room yesterday, and I don't know if you've heard about this game that they play in the locker room.
Oh, save it for Need to Know.
Yeah,
Save it for Need to Know.
But I mean, it was raucous like it is every other, on any random Thursday or Wednesday throughout the regular season. It was no different.
Was it jockstrap Nerf horse basketball?
No.
No.
Yeah,
that's what I played.
Thankfully, it was not.
That's what I played back in Indianapolis very awkwardly. Okay, anywho, we will get to in the new year everything you need to know. Brady will fill us in on all of the injury front and situation, both here, the latest out of San Francisco, what that will all mean for kickoff, and we had some pretty cool football yesterday on the collegiate level to talk about as well. We'll do all of that next. Brady and Salk. It's Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
All teed up.
It all comes down to this.
The final game of the regular season.
One game.
To decide who wins the NFC West Division.
And the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Meaning if the Seahawks win, the road to the Super Bowl runs through Lumen Field in Seattle.
You can't do that unless you win the next one.
Seahawks 49ers. Tomorrow. Kickoff at 5. Pregame at 2.
This should be fun.
On the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports.
The new year is finally here, and you could kick the new year off right by getting in shape and making Top Fitness your first stop. Hey, Brock, you're here with my friends at Top Fitness, where their stores are celebrating the new year with some great deals. You could take your New Year's resolution seriously with the very best fitness gear there is set up in your home by our professional installers. They sell the best quality products available. Brands like Precor, True, Octane, Inspire, and Hyrox. Come in now and check out the best deal of deals on treadmills. They're Precor 885 treadmills that are lease returns normally sell for over $13,000, now only $36.99, including a full 3-year warranty. This is the same commercial treadmill sold to health clubs worldwide. And every new treadmill, elliptical, and home gym, well, they're all on sale. They got the largest selection of home fitness equipment in Washington, and their staff will show you why. It's no secret why everybody from pro athletes to personal trainers love their stores. Locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-897-4400. That's 800-897-4400.
In today's fast-moving job market, staying ahead means keeping your skills sharp. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we help keep your capabilities cutting edge with our skills-based education programs designed to move your career forward. Explore more than 135 degrees and certificates in business, cybersecurity, and more. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start January 7th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
The Lowe's Closeout event means the final savings of the season are here. It's your last chance to get deals on seasonal decor, tools, flooring, and so much more. Refresh your home, check off your project list, or simply stock up on the brands you trust. Shop now to grab amazing deals before they're gone. Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 1/7. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice.
DayandNight.net.
Day and Night gives you a free furnace or water heater with installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace or water heater from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net. This is the home of the Seahawks.
Going to let one fly deep. Got a man out there. Ball is caught down at the 10-yard line, and it's JSN.
Seattle Sports. With football season comes colder weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here with Keith Dashafee from locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. So Keith, what's your next big play?
Well, Steve, right now get 40% off qualifying installs or no payments and no interest for 12 months on approved credit.
Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here. It's such a joy for me to be joined by Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Shannon, I've heard so much about traveling physical therapists. What's that mean to you and IRG?
That's a great question, Brock. Traveling physical therapy right now, I think, is a fad, and a lot of young therapists are doing it, but they're missing opportunities that we provide here at IRG. And those things we provide at IRG are really important, and that's being part of a team and treating patients, building relationships, engaging with our community. That is so important. The other thing is they're not getting paid time off. A crew are paid time off, and they do not get continuing education, professional growth, and that is so important as a young therapist to have access to professional growth. The other thing is we have an enhanced compensation program here at IRG that our physical therapists, our occupational therapists can increase their earnings by engagement, outcomes, and intervention. That's what we're all about. We're about building a great culture for young therapists and all clinicians to work here.
Openings across the whole company. Head over to irgpt.com/careers, irgpt.com/careers.
Toyota of Kirkland is celebrating Toyotathon with an inventory sale down on all 2025 RAV4s, the vehicle that's built for adventure and designed for your everyday life. 2025 gas RAV4s, 2025 hybrid RAV4s, all 2025 RAV4s are available at Toyota of Kirkland this Toyotathon for an inventory sale down. Come check out their amazing showroom, the wonderful staff, get a test drive, and take that 2025 RAV4 home the same day. Stop in today or visit online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
O'Brien.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, Brady, I think if I was with you in Nemhauser yesterday at practice, I would have said the same thing you did. What day is this? Because this does not, right, even now feel like a Friday. It's just been up and down and topsy-turvy with the new year, with the Seahawks playing Saturday night, and that hay is long gone. And in the barn, we've had enough talk about that, and whether it'll be good or bad, all we need to know now is who's actually going to play. San Francisco lists, 5 guys as all questionable, although a bunch of them didn't practice or were very limited all week long. Christian McCaffrey will go. He will be a full participant. But George Kittle, Trent Williams, who knows? And for the Seahawks, well, you tell me, man. Your eyes were on it a little bit. Rashid Shaheed doesn't even make the injury report, so he's cleared out of concussion protocol. That's great news. Are we going to see what at left tackle? What do we think about Kobe Bryant? What's your gut in those other areas?
Yeah, I have no super strong intel on this or anything like that. I've just got a feeling that Josh Jones is going to find a way to play. Now, he did not.
Charles Cross is out, by the way.
Let's back up. So Charles Cross is ruled out. He's not playing. Josh Jones is listed as questionable. Now, he didn't practice on Tuesday or Wednesday, and he only practiced as a limited participant on Thursday. So normally I would not feel good about a guy's chances under those circumstances, especially on a short week like this, but I just got a feeling that Josh Jones is going to find something like that.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
My throat.
Would you say Toradol? Is that what you said?
I think I said that, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe there's something new and more innovative today, but yeah, it was this time of year where you'd look around in the shower afterwards and you'd see all the Band-Aids on the butts back in the day. That was the indicator that that there was a little pregame help to get through the aches and the pains. And I would imagine with what's at stake in this one, and oh, by the way, you're not going across Mykel Williams or Nick Bosa. This is a group that's challenged on the other side to rush the passer. So hopefully big fella can feel good enough to get it going tomorrow night. Yeah,
we'll see. And for those who don't know, Toradol is basically a souped-up anti-inflammatory that some players play to basically mask pain. And when you talk about what NFL players do to get ready to play, I mean, some people do some things, man, and these guys are freaking warriors.
Well, Sam Darnold's going to have to do something. He's going to have to navigate that line between playing smart and not scared to make mistakes, to let it rip, as Mike Macdonald likes to encourage him. You and many others asked Sam yesterday at his presser, how does he balance that aggressiveness out?
Turnovers, they're unacceptable, no matter how they come. I mean, obviously, tipped balls, some things like that. You would like to say, oh, man, that's out of my control, but did I need to be in that position for that guy to tip that ball? And so I think that all turnovers, all plays where we can look at ourselves and be like, oh man, I could have done better on that play, which is almost every play. You know, if you think about it, you can always be a little bit better every single play. This team can continue to get better, and I look at that as me personally. You know, that's the best part about this team is we got a ton of guys that look in the mirror first and foremost, like how can I be better for the team? And you know, if we just all have that mindset, which we do have, we're just going to continue to get better and stack really good days and stack wins.
Stack those days, stack those wins.
Yeah, and the reason he's talking about that is because Sam Darnold leads the NFL with 20 turnovers. He leads all players with 20 turnovers. As an offense, Seahawks have turned it over 26 times. That's tied for most of any offense in the NFL. And and Darnold, I can appreciate what he's saying there because look, not every turnover that falls on a quarterback's ledger is his fault. The ball gets tipped, or your right tackle gets beat around the edge, and Nick Bosa strip sacks you. That's not really on you, but yeah, there are things that you could do better. Maybe you don't have to make that throw. Maybe you feel that pressure a little bit better and step up in the pocket. He's got, he had the interception and the fumble in that game against Carolina on Sunday that I felt like both of those could have easily been called incomplete passes. But he also had a few throws that got tipped, including I think their first play from scrimmage. Easily could have been a pick six, and maybe that's the throw he's talking about where, that's a tip ball. So you could say, what are you going to do? But, you could probably look at that and say, yeah, didn't really need to throw that pass.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Well, you were busy covering those Seahawks and practice and all the news and notes from yesterday. Most of us were on our couches watching a whole lot of football. I would raise my hand on that one, the Orange Bowl that started the day, and Oregon went down to South Florida, and Texas Tech was just atrocious offensively. They were really good defensively. That game could have been a lot bigger differential than what it was. Oregon ends up shutting them out 23-0 and advancing to the national semifinal. That was followed by a soggy Rose Bowl where Indiana absolutely put a whooping. How about this? How about 66 offensive plays for those Hoosiers? 50 of them runs, including one of them a 25-yard touchdown that sounded like this.
Second down and 8 from the Bama 25-yard line. Kalen Black gets the call again. Gets through the middle 20-yard line to the 15, powers to the 10, and races into the end zone for a touchdown. 25-yard touchdown run for Kalen Black. And the party is on in Pasadena for the Indiana Hoosiers.
Unbelievable. 38-3, they advance. And then the best game of them all, the Sugar Bowl, was 39-34 thriller there with Ole Miss finding a way, and Sands Lane Kiffin finding a way to beat Georgia. And last year, Brady, I think a lot of folks were like, well, hold on a second. This is just 1 year in the new format. Maybe this bye week, let's not rush to judgment. All right, even though the top 4 seeds all lost, 3 of the 4 lost this time around as well. The whole rest versus rust does not look to be working the same way in college football as it does the NFL. I think when you're talking, 7 to 10 days off versus 20 to 24 days off, that's a big deal. And Indiana, the only one over the last 2 years to beat that trend.
Well, you would have, it probably would have been somewhat similar when you were playing in like late in the year bowl games, right? Like
yes.
the Christmas Day bowls, right? Is that where you
dealing
with the same
thing? The
thing?
difference was you and your opponent were both in that boat.
Okay.
Right? So when we played a Michigan State in the Aloha Bowl or Colorado in the Holiday Bowl, we were both in that spot. In this case, Oregon got a tune-up against James Madison, right? And Miami got a tune-up at A&M, and those guys got to sharpen their skates the week before versus sitting around week after week after week. It's not been beneficial to these top seeds, but it sets up some pretty cool games. Indiana, Oregon, and Ole Miss, Miami. How about this, Brady? All 4 teams led by former Nick Saban assistant coaches.
How about
that coaching tree? Pretty darn cool.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Last thing you need to know, these Kraken stay hot. They had won 4 in a row and then lost in a shootout. They come right back 4-1 last night, and they'll go up to Vancouver today. Husky women's basketball, huge win yesterday. Take down number 6 Michigan. They'll probably find themselves ranked. And then Lyle, I understand those Houston Astros. Does this mean that they're not going to sign? What was that guy? Who's their ace?
Framber Valdez?
Yeah. Does this mean that Valdez is out because they give some $50 million to who?
To Tatsuya Imai from Japan. I don't know if they're totally out on Framber, but it always seemed like he was going to go somewhere else. That's how it seemed like all free agency.
Yeah. Yeah, but the Astros don't stand pat, right? Not been a lot of baseball news, Brady. I think the new year, after the New Year's, you get closer to a real deadline with spring training, 5 weeks or so, 6 weeks from now. A little different story, but the Astros do sign the Japanese pitcher that has been pretty good over there, Imai, give him a 3-year deal with some significant money. That is everything you need to know. So I was laying down in bed late last night after that Sugar Bowl, and as I
not
often
tub
do,
time is different than tub time, correct?
Yeah, different than tub time. Earlier tub time, got a good workout in during the Rose Bowl, and so took the little tub time then, and I was just sitting there thinking about a number of different topics, and I think sometimes you got to be a little careful to not rush to judgment. You'll hear that, right? Just give it some time. Just the other day, Joe Buck said that about young quarterbacks, right? Some of the problem in today is we just rush to judgment. This guy's a bust. He can't play. I got 2 or 3 things that I don't know if they're necessarily a now rush to judgment. Some of them have been years. Some of them have been hours. But I got a few of those things I want to run through the old Brady Henderson filter. We'll do that together for a little Blue 88 next right here on Brock and Salk.
Yeah, it's about to go down. Bump and Stacy. Weekdays 10 to 2.
The NFC West and NFC #1 seed, 2 open battles that are really settled with 1 game Saturday night.
It's all about Brock Purdy. Can you rattle him? Because when he throws interceptions, this offense just doesn't go. And quietly, Christian McCaffrey is putting together another great season, and ain't nobody really talking about him. Usually he's the guy who's hurt, who's banged up, who you're waiting to get back, and he's been solid all year.
Only on Seattle Sports.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Talk about stepping up.
It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I was able to achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You'll feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. I'm surprised and relieved every time I look in the mirror. You need to know what that feels like. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there is no one I would trust more than Advanced Hair Restoration. I experienced their exceptional standard of care firsthand. Your comfort and your results are the top priority of the entire Advanced Hair team. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185. Discover what meeting your resolutions could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Yay to Bruce, the streaming king.
With quantum fiber internet, he's gonna binge.
He wants more, he's got to have more.
More bedtime true crime.
More podcasts in the shower.
Quantum fiber Wi-Fi has the power. More fast internet speed.
He's got the gigs to go big, bring him the game.
Right now.
And his royal we.
More sports non-stop. His quantum fiber's on top. Ready to use.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service, and speed in select locations only.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. Touchdown, Seahawks! Ken Walker III. Get everything Seahawks at seattlesports.com.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing.
Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture. And then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, Happy New Year to all of you tuning in this morning as well. Kind of a little different just timing of the week and everything going on. And obviously New Year's on a Thursday, so do folks work on Friday. And I thought, if my Haley is working from home here today, which she is, been awesome to have her and my new son-in-law Dylan in town for a couple weeks. If Haley's working, then I got to work. And heck, as you said, Brady, these are the games, right, we all live for anyway, with everything that's at stake, with the Seahawks and Niners game and the number 1 seed and all of it. And also, there's just certain times I got to get some stuff off my chest. Mm-hmm. I think when you come on, actually, 2 or 3 times in these, when you filled in for Salk, I've had these little segments like, you know what, I just like to get this off my chest. Brady's a great listener. He is a great talker. He's a great writer. He's got a great filter. So let me just kind of run a few of these things.
Step into my confession booth, Brock.
Okay.
Come on, let's hear it.
First thing is watching the playoffs, and this started the week before in the college football playoffs. It certainly furthered yesterday with the beatdown of Indiana over Alabama. I had always said, kind of off the record, I can't wait for the 30 for 30 on Mike Slive's SEC. So Greg Sankey's the new commissioner, but Mike Slive was the previous commissioner. I met him a few different times, and man, it was just amazing how the SEC for decades had a dynastic run that nobody could hardly compete with Kirby and with Nick and with the big bad SEC where frankly, quote unquote, it just means more. Where it just means more.
With Les Miles and his fake Southern accent.
Yeah, and then there's even Ed Orgeron, and, LSU won some titles. Bama won like 7, right? Georgia won they all just, even Florida, maybe at the start of all of that with Urban Meyer, it just means more. And I just now, after 2-3 years of the money being dispersed a little more around the country, where maybe everybody else, and I'm not sitting in a, production meeting with Mike Gundy, who's grumbling and doesn't want it on the record, but just grumbling about maybe the methods, using a Mike Macdonald term, the methods that the SEC was able to utilize in those years that others didn't. I just wonder now, as it's been spread around a little bit, why isn't the SEC as dominant as they once were? Why has it been Ohio State and Michigan the last couple years? And frankly, I mean, they should be fortunate that it was an SEC matchup in the Sugar Bowl, because maybe they would have been blown out like A&M was, like Alabama was, like Oklahoma was, like all the SEC teams that don't find themselves. And maybe all this nonsense that we've got to have 5 teams in the 12, we got to maneuver. And kudos to Greg Sankey. He's doing his job as commissioner, but we should get automatic bids. We're the big bad SEC. I don't know. My eyes watched the last 2-3 years. You don't look all that big and bad to me anymore. I think the playing field is about as level as it's ever been in my lifetime.
And spell it out for me like I'm 10 years old or like I'm an NFL reporter who doesn't watch a lot of college football. It's just the money is being more evenly distributed. Is that basically what it is?
That's exactly right. Yeah. That's exactly right. And that's not to say there weren't programs like Ohio State and others that had maybe some resources and some funds that others didn't have. But now there is way more money. There's big-time oil money in Lubbock that is committed tens of millions of dollars. And there's big-time money in South Florida that's committed tens of millions of dollars to Mario Cristobal. And there's big-time support for Signetti there in the Midwest with Indiana. And we know there's been millions of dollars of support with Phil and Nike down in Eugene. So it's just the money, Brady, is just being dispersed in ways that it wasn't in the past. And these programs like Indiana and Miami and Texas Tech have payrolls that are comparable, or salary caps, if you want to put it in an NFL term, comparable to everybody else. And that was not the way it was for many, many years. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And just on some level probably was happening, right? But now that it's all above board and it's not under the table and it's you can do it out there in the open, it's just that much easier to field competitive rosters, right?
Yeah, that Alabama can actually lose 38-3.
Yeah.
38-3 can be outrushed as they were. What was it? 17 rushes for 23 yards for Mr. Grubbs, Crimson Tide, versus 50 for 215. That Indiana would run the ball down some big bad boy SEC. It honestly, in the 60s and 70s, Brady, I heard the same thing. Oklahoma and Texas. Why did those teams just run in Alabama then? Because they'd had 150 scholarships. Right? It was like there was no scholarship limit. So guess what they got?
Yeah.
The top 150, and then you figure out the rest. And I think for a bunch of years, a lot of these SEC schools, through their resources, were able to get the top recruiting class, and you'd kind of get some of the crumbs. You get 1 or 2. Not that way anymore. And I think you see that parity come to life here in college football. Secondly, and I don't know, this one came about in a little bit of a roundabout way, but just watching Mike Macdonald, watching these coaches, I told you need to know that unbelievably, Mario Cristobal, Signetti, Dan Lanning, and even Pete Golding at Ole Miss, who's taken over for Lane. And heck, Lane was a Nick Saban disciple. All of them coming from the Nick Saban tree. And the importance of coaching and that background just got me thinking, what if John Schneider, right? And we had a lot of dialogue the other day about this with John, and Hawk Blogger wrote a great piece on all that John and Mike Macdonald and this new pairing have done together for the culture and all of it. What if John Schneider had a little more say with Pete when it came to just coaching staffs and support staffs and some of that? Because now John, obviously, is in charge of all of that, right? And hiring Mike Macdonald and working with Mike to make sure, hey, man, Ryan Grubb didn't quite work. How can we find a better fit for you? And just having, I think, a little more say. What if John would have had a little more say in that through the years with Pete? And how much differently would some of those years that you referenced earlier in covering Pete, how much differently some of those years from, 17 to 23 could have looked?
Yeah, it's a fascinating question, and I think it's a really good point, too, about what the biggest differences are in this post-Pete Carroll power structure. Now, the one thing that everybody pointed to initially was that, okay, John Schneider now has final say over personnel decisions, which Pete Carroll, for the entirety of his tenure here in Seattle, he had that. And that is significant. But I will say this, that I think they would tell you that over 14 years, there was not really a whole lot of times where Pete Carroll was wielding that power and saying, no, John, I disagree, and I'm going to use this trump card that I have, which is final say. I don't think that really happened like a whole lot of times. It certainly was not happening regularly. I think
and there certainly, by the way, was not the friction there was in my lifetime as a Seahawk with Tim Ruskell and a Mike Holmgren and some of those.
With an owner, with a coach and a GM that once kept 2 kickers on the 53-man roster because they couldn't agree on which one to keep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was not that. Those guys were, just famously worked well together. The other part of that post-Pete Carroll power structure was that the coaching staff now reports to John Schneider, no longer reports to the head coach like it did under Pete Carroll. And that's, I think, the point you're making is that I think people in that building will tell you that if you are looking at like the big picture reasons why that organization sort of, and look, they never bottomed out. There was always a very high floor with them. But the ceiling, was kind of capped, and they didn't get back to another Super Bowl after going to 2 straight. And they weren't regularly, up there in the NFC West and winning the division. I think they would tell you that part of the reason was there was some atrophy with that coaching staff and that a lot of, Pete Carroll was a very loyal guy and he hung on to a lot of assistants for a long time. And I think people will tell you that maybe some of those guys got kind of comfortable in those roles, knowing that, well, Pete Carroll's best coach in franchise history. Pete Carroll's going to be here forever. I got it made. I got a job here forever as long as I want it. And I could totally see that happening. It's sort of human nature there. And I do wonder if that kind of maybe cost them a bit of competitive edge that they very much have right now with a very talented coaching staff.
And I think, Brady, if you did a deep dive with all your peers at ESPN that cover all the teams, in as much as we talk about scheme with these head coaches, and we do a lot with Shanahan and with McVay and with Macdonald, because they're the tip of the spear in so many ways when it comes to scheme innovation offensively and defensively in the NFL, I think you would find if you did a deep dive that one of the critical elements of the Shanahans and the McVays is their ability to work with John Lynch and Les Snead to find great coaches. Because you're going to have drain, and the Rams have had an enormous amount of that, right? In some ways, McVay is the Nick Saban in Shanahan, as far as the coaching tree in the NFL and all the different branches, and they were all in LA or San Francisco, right? And now they're head coaches and coordinators proliferated all over the NFL. You better be able to identify talent, not just with your personnel, but with your coaches. Or you better have somebody above you, like a John Lynch or a John Schneider or a Les Snead that is right there with you, equally good, sharpening iron, to make sure, our personnel, not just the players, but our personnel as coaching staff is elite, because these coaches will come and go. And especially if you have success, as we saw with Pete early, there goes Gus Bradley out the door, right? There goes Dan out the door. There goes some really talented people, Dan Quinn, that are going to be wanted by others.
Yeah, and you didn't see that in the later years. You didn't see a whole lot of Pete Carroll assistants being poached. Now, you saw Dave Canales. It happened with Dave Canales, and Dave Canales went on to become the offensive coordinator, at Tampa Bay, and then very quickly became a head coach. This is maybe not entirely fair point to make, but that was the one guy who became a head coach, and that was also the guy that Pete Carroll passed over for his offensive coordinator when he hired Shane Waldron. And I don't know, I don't even remember hearing about Dave Canales interviewing for that job. Now, that was kind of a tricky situation because you had a quarterback who, wanted say in that decision, and I don't know if that would have gone over well, frankly.
I remember who that was. Was that
Russell Wilson.
Oh, that was right. That's right. That was Russell.
Yeah, and I think Russell Wilson, Shane Waldron's ties to Sean McVay had a lot of appeal to Russell Wilson. So I will say that Pete Carroll was probably in a tough spot there, but the one guy that got poached from your coaching staff for, a big-time promotion and ultimately became a head coach, that was one guy that you let out of the building because you didn't promote him to offensive coordinator when you had a chance.
And then lastly, and I don't know why this, popped up on my feed yesterday, maybe because Brady is with some influencer that's like half his age or whatever, but at least it's not 50 years like Bill.
We're talking Tom Brady here, by the way.
Yeah, Tom Brady. Okay, yeah. Is it safe to say now that that whole dynastic run was a lot more Tom Brady than it was Bill Belichick?
It's hard to argue against that. Yeah, when you look at what's happened with Brady in Chapel Hill, that's just a weird situation.
Belichick, you mean, in Chapel
Hill?
Hill?
With Belichick, and that's
it's such an uncomfortable one. It just puts you upside down, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, just forget about what's going on off the field with.
It's just crazy. Belichick's going to go in the Hall of Fame, rightfully so. 10 Super Bowls, he won 7. Like, you don't diminish any of that, right? And to think, for all of these years, Brady, like what he did and that run that may never be done again, honestly. Because the NFL is all about making sure that never happens, like scheduling and salary cap and draft picks. Like, that's not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to get to 10 Super Bowls. So he'll go in the Hall of Fame. He's one of the finalists. And it's just kind of remarkable to think post Tom Brady how much different that looked. How much more it looked, honestly, like Cleveland than it did any of those 20-something years where he and Tom did something that will likely in our lifetimes never be done in the NFL again.
Yeah, it really is remarkable in an era of the NFL where it's just set up against that. It's set up for parity, and it's set up to be hard to repeat once, let alone win 6 over the course of, whatever it was, 15, 16 years. So really remarkable. The thought that I've had about Brady over the last few weeks is what's going through his mind when he sees Phillip Rivers get the itch.
Yep.
The opportunity there, come out of retirement, and plays probably – I don't think he won a game in any of his 3 starts, but probably played better than anybody could have imagined when you're talking about a guy who's 44 years old, hadn't played since however long, 3-4 years, coming off the couch.
And he's probably got 45 pounds on Tom Brady.
Probably,
easily.
Yeah. And you got to imagine that Tom Brady is in a lot better shape right now than Phillip Rivers was. What do you think has gone through Tom Brady's mind about that?
I bet you Phillip, with his cleats, his pants, his rib pads, his helmet, I think if you put him on that scale right by the away tunnel before he ran out for that first one, I bet he was 265.
Yeah.
Maybe 270.
Yeah.
I bet you Brady's he is lean, 205, 210. Oh, there's no question Brady could do that for 3 or 4 weeks. And as long as it was like the system that he knew inside and out, like Phillip knew that system inside and out. He couldn't just go into a whole new language or anything. But anybody in that tree or, that utilized his language, he could absolutely play 3 or 4.
Yeah. And logistically, it's probably a non-starter because he's now part of the Raiders ownership group. True. And he's, in addition to being a Fox broadcast, I mean, you could probably get out of the broadcasting gig somehow. I don't know if you get out of the ownership gig as easily, and that would be a non-starter, I think. But just competitively, I mean, we're talking about probably the most competitive player in the history of football. You think that guy isn't watching Phillip Rivers do what he did and say, oh, man, if I only had the opportunity to do that, I could do that. I could be better than him.
Yes.
I could throw a football over the mountain still.
I think Drew Brees, I think there's probably a handful of guys that have said that watching Phillip over the last month or so. You know what I get to do? I now get to listen to you answer 2 Blue 88 questions right now.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88, powered by Xfinity.
We're going to go red, right, tight, close, sprint left, G, U corner, halfback, flat, on one. Ready?
Brock Heward tackles 3 football questions as only he can.
Blue 88.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, Brady, question number 1 for you, and really from here on out, it's going to be super heavy. Seahawks, 49ers. We'll get Brady's co-worker down in San Francisco on the show here in about 40 minutes or so to dive in even more, Nick Wagoner. But question number 1 for you, as you just dig into the Seahawks-49ers matchup, as you think back to week number 1, are there some areas, some physical advantages, some personnel advantages that you think the Hawks clearly have over San Fran tomorrow night?
I think they got a big advantage up front. And for so many years, for a few years there where the 49ers really had the Seahawks number, it was the other way around, man. And Nick Bosa and Armstead and those guys were, they gave it to the Seahawks pretty good a few of those games and ran all over them. Different story this time. I think offensively, the Seahawks have some challenges, certainly, with what they've got going on with their left tackle situation, but 49ers have lost a lot of firepower, and on the other side of the ball, I don't think Trent Williams is going to play in this game, and I think Nick Wagoner was probably going to tell us the same thing. He's listed as questionable, but guess what? Trent Williams is darn near my age, and when you talk about a hamstring injury, coming off
what is that age? 40?
I think he's a couple years younger than me. I think he's like 37, 38.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or maybe 1 or 2 years younger than me. That's a big time advantage for the Seahawks, and like any team that has to start its backup left tackle or any backup along the offensive line, there's not enough quality offensive linemen for teams to field 5 starters, let alone for teams to have quality backups ready to step in right away and play well, especially when you talk about a really talented, really strong front four like this. So I think that is one big area of advantage for the Seahawks. I know that 49ers offense has been red hot. I know they went up and down the field on Chicago and scored at will without Trent Williams, who was injured on the first play of that Sunday night game, but I think that's going to be a lot harder to do against a front four that is really the strength of the Seahawks defense. Question number 2. Say, Brock, what kind of quarterback class is this?
This is not a draft, which we hit on this with DJ earlier in the week, Brady. This is not last year's draft, nor the year before that's draft, or the year before that's draft. This is there's a reason that Shaheed was traded for a 4th and 5th, and a lot of people were like, whoa, that is a lot of capital. Not in this draft. This draft does not go into the 4th or 5th round like it has in the previous drafts. But I do think that is where this draft class of quarterbacks may find its strength. This isn't the 6 guys or 5 guys drafted in the top 12. This isn't the CJ Stroud. Like, this is a difficult group to evaluate. 2 of them are going to play against each other in the national semifinal because of big wins yesterday. That is Mendoza. And then there's a lot of question of Dante Moore down at Oregon. I think he's the most talented. Put me in the corner and say, hey, who's the guy that you really like? I love his throwing motion. I love his fundamentals. He's a good athlete. I love the grit. He was like number 1 kid out of Detroit coming out of high school, Brady, and went to UCLA with Chip and got thrown in the fire way too early, went to Oregon, watched Dylan Gabriel, has taken off this year. I think it'll be he and Mendoza if he comes out. Now, I think Oregon can also say, hey, Dante, why don't you just stick around for another year? Here's $5 or $6 million, I know you want to start your clock and get it going, but do you want to go to the Raiders? Do you want to go to the Jets?
Giants,
right?
Yeah.
Giants probably have
they're
Dart.
not going to take a quarterback.
Yeah, but you want to go to one of those 2 spots, or do you want to come back and maybe see if there can be a Caleb Williams kind of team the following year? Something different than the Raiders and the Jets, who had a hard time developing any kind of quarterback. Mendoza doesn't have a say in that. His eligibility is up, and I don't think either of those would be great fits for him. But they're good. They're good. They're not elite. And it is also amazing that all of the names we talked about before the season, Brady, where people were like, oh, this is going to be a deep class. Drew Aller out of Penn State, Garrett Nussmeier out of LSU, Beck out of Miami, Lenore Sellers out of South Carolina. None of them really, Beck's still playing, but none of them really did much this season. In fact, most of their stock dropped pretty significantly. So, yeah, get ready for draft conversations that have not been of the same hype and expectation of the last couple of years.
And you made a good point there about, getting some money to come back. And that's another maybe side effect of NIL is now, guys are going to be more incentivized to come back to college. Now, I think you're probably going to see that more so in like the 4th, 5th, 6th round. Maybe just day 3 in general, right? Where now all of a sudden, like guys, depending on what kind of NIL money they're making in college, they might have to take a pay cut to go to the NFL. If you're talking about a 5th, 6th round
Quinn
contract.
Ewers sure did.
Yeah.
Quinn sure did.
Yeah, but you're talking about, maybe there are cases where that comes into play for first round guys who have a chance to make a lot of money in college as it is.
Question number 3. Brady, are there any numbers you go to or metrics? We were chatting about DVOA earlier this week with Brian. Are there any numbers that you look at very specifically week to week? And if so, what are they and how do they play into this matchup Saturday?
Yeah, there's a few a little bit more like specific to players or just kind of aspects of football as opposed to the overarching DVOA. But, one of the many wonderful things about working at ESPN is we got access to this great database called True Database. That was a portmanteau database. Database about it's got all just pages and pages and pages of stats. And a few that I look up, I'll give you one right now, is average time before throw. And you know all about that because you've asked me to look those up. And average time before throw gives you a really good idea of how long a quarterback holds onto the ball, or in some cases it tells you how good the offensive line is, and how much time that quarterback has to throw the ball. Other times it kind of tells you, I think in the case of Brock Purdy, what's this guy's ability and tendency to extend plays. And I'll give you the number for Brock Purdy: 3.19 seconds. That's the average time he has had this season from snap to throw.
Feels like a lot.
Yeah, and that's not because he's sitting back there in the pocket for 3.19 seconds on average every time. It's because this guy is really good at extending plays. He's not your classical runner like Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. This guy will extend plays. You saw it really on one of those touchdown passes, really a few of them in that Sunday night game against Chicago, where he rolls out to his left, buys some time, fakes out one defender, and finds Juszczyk in the end zone for a touchdown. Brock Purdy is really good at that, and that is going to be one challenge for them is, with San Francisco's issues at left tackle, I think the Seahawks are going to have chances to get to him, but Purdy is really good at escaping. Probably not going to kill you with his legs running around, but he's really good at avoiding pressure, and that's going to be one thing that's going to go a long way in determining how good of a day Seattle's defense has.
That is a little blue 88, I would agree. And they also do a lot of cool deep play action pass, right?
Yeah.
That was something that Russell's numbers were always, Russell Wilson when he was a Seahawk, were always way up there as well. And people are like, wow, he's just a playground QB. He just can't see. No, they also do some really cool creative screens, creative play action pass, move the pocket an awful lot. And I would imagine against this rush, and Brock felt it the first time, man. He got beat up, right? Toe, shoulder. They got after him big time. They're going to move that launch point an awful lot.
And 3.19 seconds. That's I omitted this part. That's second longest in the NFL.
Wow.
To only Caleb Williams, another guy who, as you saw, is very good at extending plays.
Hey, let's do this. Let's spin around the NFL because there are some other games going on with huge ramifications as well. Could play into the playoff seeding and what all of that means, and then a whole bunch of San Fran, Seattle. You want to know the skinny, you want to know the ins and the outs, you want to know all of the matchups. Well, you're going to want to hang on for 30 minutes from now when we get Brady's associate down there in San Francisco on the line as well. We'll do all of that in this Happy New Year, welcoming in 2026. I'm Brock and Salk.
All teed up. It all comes down to this.
The final game of the regular season.
One game.
To decide who wins the NFC West Division.
And the number one seed in the NFC.
Meaning if the Seahawks win, the road to the Super Bowl runs through Lumen Field in Seattle.
You can't do that unless you win the next one.
Seahawks 49ers tomorrow. Kickoff at 5. Pregame at 2.
This should be fun.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing.
Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture. And then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice. DayandNight.net. Day and Night gives you a free furnace or water heater with installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace or water heater from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net. The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with 0 investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
I started Davis Law Group in 1994 to fight for the underdog. And as our team has grown, we've stayed true to that mission. Today, Davis Law Group is known for providing excellent service and even better results. Visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com to get your free book on car accident law.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
I think we will hear from Salk. We're going to take some calls to end the show. We do that on Fridays.
From the first tee? Is that what I understand?
We're going to try to take a call from, is it DuPont?
DuPont, Washington.
Yeah, DuPont. We may that one may start the calls at 9:30. We'll see if we can track them down and what the cell reception and all that is. I know it's, what is it today? 70 and sunny down there. So I know that he loves those kind of conditions to get down to DuPont. Let's do this, Brady, because it's not just the Seahawks and Niners. There's a bunch of big games going on around the NFL, including the one that precedes the Seahawks game. That'll be for quite possibly the NFC South. But lots going on. Miss Moore is going to spin us around the NFL.
Right, Lamar Jackson sat out last week's Ravens win over the Packers with a back contusion, but he told reporters yesterday that he will 100% be out there Sunday when the Ravens face the Steelers in a winner-take-all battle for the AFC North. But there are some distractions, as the Baltimore Sun just published a story questioning the quarterback's work ethic. Here is what Lamar had to say about the column.
I heard I'll be playing the game at like 1 or 2 in the morning. I don't even do that during the summer, so I don't know where that come from either. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know where that come from.
Yeah, Lamar, they said that you had fallen asleep at meetings. How would you respond to that?
Do you think Harbaugh let me fall asleep in his meeting? That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm right in the front. Like, man, I don't know, man. It is what it is, though. Like I said, it's just noise.
Oh, just noise.
Shout out to my guy Jamison Hensley from ESPN. He was the one asking Lamar those questions yesterday. But this was actually in a column, not a report, not like a hard news report. It was in a column where the columnist was kind of reporting some stuff that he had heard about Lamar Jackson. And look, that didn't come from nowhere. And I'm not going to speculate on the guy's sources or his credibility or whatever. But like, my gut tells me that did not just come out of nowhere.
Brady, you're the hitman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You wrote a hit piece.
Sounds like we got a hitman in Baltimore, too.
Yes.
Is it a hit piece if everything in it, well, first of all, was fair, but turned out to be true also?
That was
the
Brady's
Broncos
piece.
side.
Yeah, that was Brady's piece. That was all true. But we've seen this with Sherm, all these stories, Wickersham's pieces. Everybody rips, this is dumb. But as you said, there's some smoke to that. And even Rich Gannon, when he joined you and me.
The guy doesn't practice. That's what Rich said.
That's right.
Yeah.
The guy doesn't practice. You know, you got to practice. You got to be available. And availability has been a big, big issue. Looks like he will play, though, Sunday night.
Yep.
All right, the Lions are eliminated from the playoffs, and they head into Week 18 in last place in the NFC North. We already know head coach Dan Campbell has a way with words, and he chose some interesting ones to describe their season and what they need to do next.
You either go two ways, right? I mean, you either just go down in the dumps and you sit in a dirty diaper for a while, you guys that got kids, and you just lay there. You just sit there, right? And it's miserable. Or you change your diaper and you get the hell up and you go. And so the motivation is respect, man.
They have to change their diaper, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you love to play for Dan Campbell? I would. This is a moot point because I would never good enough to like sniff the NFL, let alone college. But like, if I was a good football player, I would love to play for Dan Campbell. My mom loves Dan Campbell, by the way. We watched Hard Knocks together a few years ago when they were featuring the Lions. My mom loves Dan Campbell. How can you not love Dan Campbell?
He was in the same draft class as me. He was A&M tight end, and I think we went a few picks apart in the third round. So when we did like the NFL seminar and stuff, and and I think if I were to bump into him way back to 1999 and taking pictures in our football uniform, where was he? The Cowboys. He was a third round, I believe, tight end to the Cowboys, and so we go way back to the 99 draft class. I just texted you guys my favorite thing on Twitter over the last week or so.
I was wondering what you were doing while Brady was talking, and then we get a message in our group chat of a baby checking another baby's diaper.
Yes. It's Big Brother checking little brother's diaper, and
I think I might have seen this.
You play the sound and say, "Oh, he's got a big poop." Yes, and that's what old Dan Campbell reminded me. I apologize, but I thought it was fairly fitting. It's a pretty good little thing, and I think a great John Deere ad. The older brother's wearing a John Deere T-shirt, and looking out for little bro.
Now, this makes sense, just kind of timing wise, but it is surprising that we're in the same draft class as Dan Campbell, because you look about 10, 15 years younger than Dan Campbell, and I'm gonna imagine it's because you're not throwing like 5 shots of espresso in your drip coffee every morning. You're not throwing massive golf ball sized chews into your lip every 2 hours.
I would say I'm not a coach, and coaching ages you. Looking at Kalen DeBoer yesterday, I'll send you guys that picture. I'll shoot it your way too, because I went back and looked at Kalen DeBoer's introductory press conference at UW. I mean, not even looks like the same guy. So just the stress of that job as well. I'll say this about Detroit, though. This is a page out of the San Francisco playbook. Like, if you're not first, it's not bad to be worst. You're going to play a 4th place schedule next year, right? You're going to have a little better draft pick. San Fran's used that methodology to their advantage quite a bit. The difference between a 1st place schedule and a 4th place schedule, big difference, and that'll help them in 2026.
Yeah, and they didn't have to like bottom out and have a terrible season too. I mean, that's been a pretty competitive division. It's not like they went 3-14 or whatever.
All right, the Bills have already locked up a playoff spot, but they would currently be the number 7 seed heading into the playoffs. The best that they could move up to this week is either the 5th or 6th seed if they win over the Jets and have a few other scenarios play out. Josh Allen has not practiced this week due to a foot injury that he suffered week 16 and then appeared to re-aggravate last week versus the Eagles. Mitch Trubisky would start if Allen is unable to go. Should they just rest him?
Yeah, he's a Jets killer. He'll be fine. And the Jets are really, really bad.
Yeah.
Now, Allen does need one touchdown to tie Aaron Rodgers for the most consecutive seasons with 40-plus total touchdowns, which is 6 seasons. And this is also the last game at Highmark Stadium before they get a new one there in Buffalo.
No, I think the only thing they care about is how can we get to a Super Bowl. And they'll be rooting for the Steelers to beat Lamar and Josh go into a playoff situation where there is no Mahomes and no Lamar Jackson. And can we get him anywhere near 100%, 90%, 80% with a foot injury that is real? It does strike me, Brady, as we're going to talk again, a ton of Niners and Seahawks here for the remainder of the show, that these two are playing each other. When you look at so many of these other teams and games this weekend, Chargers are resting everybody versus Denver.
Yeah.
Buffalo's going to rest people. Teams have just shut it down, playing backup to backup quarterbacks. Not for the Seahawks. There was no nice lottery with that one to draw that scenario to play for the 1 seed. It's good on good Saturday night.
Yeah, and Sean McVay said he's not resting his starters because, frankly, they need to play after a really bad, disappointing game on Monday night against Atlanta. Now, I do wonder if he's going to feel differently if by the time that game kicks off, they're locked into whatever seed. I mean, if that game literally means nothing, then maybe you're certainly not going to see those guys play a full game.
No.
But yeah, I thought it was interesting. McVay said, nope, not going to rest starters.
No, you lose a couple in a row, and you want to feel good going into the playoffs. Devontae Adams probably the biggest one there, right? Are you going to actually get him some run before the playoffs or continue to rest him? We shall see. That's a spin around the NFL. One story we didn't get to there, Brady, I do want to ask you about. Maybe we'll do it in a little need to know. Alongside all the injuries and availability, how about some all-pro teams, including one of your buddies, Bill Barnwell, came out with his all-pro team. Couple Seahawks surprises on that, at least for me. Was it for Brady? We'll dig into that next. Everything you need to know with Brady and for Salk. It is Brock and Salk.
The one and only Mark Schlereth with Wyman and Bob.
Brock Purdy. I feel like that guy's almost never going to get respect. He's always going to be, Mr. Irrelevant.
I think that's a lot of Sam Darnold as well, is that you have this kind of predetermined vision in your head of what he is, because maybe, Brock just doesn't have the size, the stature. Sam certainly has the size and stature. Brock doesn't. But, man, Brock can get through a progression like nobody's business.
On Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
The new year is finally here, and you could kick the new year off right by getting in shape and making Top Fitness your first stop. Hey, Brock, you're here with my friends at Top Fitness, where their stores are celebrating the new year with some great deals. You could take your New Year's resolution seriously with the very best fitness gear there is set up in your home by our professional installers. They sell the best quality products available. Brands like Precor, True, Octane, Inspire, and Hyrox. Come in now and check out the best deal of deals on treadmills. They're Precor 885 treadmills that are lease returns normally sell for over $13,000, now only $36.99, including a full 3-year warranty. This is the same commercial treadmill sold to health clubs worldwide. And every new treadmill, elliptical, and home gym, well, they're all on sale. They got the largest selection of home fitness equipment in Washington, and their staff will show you why. It's no secret why everybody from pro athletes to personal trainers love their stores. Locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Trying to get a handle on the market these days, it's nearly impossible, at least for me. Mike Salk here, and I'm busy. I don't have time for the daily ups and downs of the market, but I am very concerned with maximizing my money for the long-term impact. That's why I talk to Trajan Wealth. You have an old 401k, maybe you're not sure what to do with it. We all want peace of mind in our investment portfolios, right? Well, how about starting with a second opinion? Call Trajan Wealth today to discuss how to optimize those funds and get that money working for you again. Trajan Wealth's core philosophies include low expenses, manager tenure, and tax efficiency. So as I talked to my local guy in my first meeting, it quickly became clear those were his priorities. He asked me a ton of questions about me, my family, my goals, my risk tolerance, and then he started working on a plan designed to meet my needs. Call Trajan Wealth today at 206-466-3300 or go to TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth LLC, SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Being blind doesn't always look how others may think.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down. I know where to find support and where I can be seen.
Innovative research, educational resources, supportive community. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is leading the charge on treatments and cures for blinding diseases. Donate today at fightingblindness.org. A public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
A new exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card is your opportunity to go from cardholder to ticket holder for the FIFA World Cup 2026. For a limited time, when you're approved for a new customized cash rewards or unlimited cash rewards Visa credit card, you're eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more today at BofA.com/cardFWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America N.A. in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Friday. It's the first Friday of 2026, and all of you that are listening right now, you know what's at stake tomorrow night. It's the #1 seed. It's the playoffs going through Seattle. What you may not know are all the nitty-gritty little details when it comes to who's playing. So down in San Francisco, well, we got a bunch of questionable designations. Frankly, I was a little surprised to see that, Brady. I thought certainly for guys that hadn't practiced all week, it might be a doubtful or maybe even an out like it is for Charles Cross or Kobe Bryant. But nope, just all questionable. In Seattle, some good news and some curious news. Good news, Rashid Shaheed cleared protocol. Right, he's been a full participant the last couple days. He will be full go. That is huge for the special teams phase. And to add with JSN in the passing game, because they didn't have him the first time around versus San Fran. But what's going to happen in left tackle? Charles Cross is designated as out. Josh Jones, what do you see, Brady?
Josh Jones, questionable. He did not practice Tuesday or Wednesday, was only able to practice as a limited participant on Thursday. Now, typically, I would tell you that really does not bode well for a guy's chances of playing, and he might not play in this game. I just continue to think, and this is just me, pure gut, with I don't have a beer gut. I got a White Claw gut, if you will. Me and my White Claw gut tells me that I think he's going to find a way to play. Now, that's
if this were week
easy
10
for me to
or
say.
11 or 12,
yeah,
maybe not.
Considering the stakes, yeah.
When you got the 1 seed in play, and hopefully Charles coming back sooner than later, especially if you do get a bye week, you try to find a way to suck it up and get it done. Now, we played the Sam Darnold earlier talking about his aggressiveness line. How about the coordinator, Clint Kubiak, and all of these giveaways? How do you manage that, Clint?
Yeah, it's not a number that we're proud of at all. Something that we're always preaching, things that we gotta improve on. Obviously, we want to maximize our possessions, and we're giving away points when we give the ball away. So whether it's decision making, throwing the ball, holding on to it, and then protecting our quarterback so that we're not, getting sack fumbles. There's a lot of things that go on there, but something's got to get better if we want to be a championship team.
I'll say it, Brady. I'll say it. They win the turnover battle tomorrow night, they win the game.
Yeah.
They lose the turnover battle, they're going to be the 5 seed.
Yeah. Well, it's often a very good indicator, a very good predictor of who wins the game. It's actually been weird that the Seahawks have that really has not applied to a lot of games. I mean, they've won games where they've lost the turnover battle. 28 turnovers in all. That is second most in the NFL. You typically do not talk about a team like that getting at least 13 wins, going for 14, and going for the number 1 seed in the conference. But here the Seahawks are, thanks to really how good the offense was over the first half of the season, how capable they still are, how excellent their defense is, and really how dominant their special teams are. That is by some metrics, that is the best special teams unit in the entire NFL and has been for a good chunk of the season.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Well, the most compelling game of the night yesterday of the triumvirate of the national quarterfinals was definitely the nightcap. It was definitely the Sugar Bowl where Ole Miss found a way to win late 39-34, even without Lane Kiffin. I was thinking, now what is Lane Kiffin thinking right now watching this game? He's got to be rooting for his boys, right?
Oh, yeah.
His OC, Charlie Weiss Jr., who's going to come to LSU, and so many of those guys he recruited. What is Jackson Dart thinking? It was supposed to be last year, Ole Miss doing this. Nope, didn't happen. It is this time around, and what a story they have been. Indiana absolutely bludgeoned Bama 38-3. And Oregon, 4 turnovers, including this pick, was really way too much for the Red Raiders to overcome.
All those hopeful fans who have traveled to South Florida. 3rd and goal to the end zone. They go. It is intercepted, and it's Finney again.
Dude, this guy Finney now. Whew. What a day for a freshman. First of all, he looked like a grown man. That's a freshman, 6'3", 205, corner. Like, oh my gosh, 2 picks, a fumble recovery. Oregon just suffocated the Red Raiders. They have 4 turnovers, 22 minutes time of possession for Tosh Lavoie, Dan Lanning. They will move on. It'll be a rematch. Indiana, Oregon on one side of it, and Ole Miss Miami on the other.
All right, Brock, give me an NFL comp for your guy, Fernando Mendoza. What's your NFL comp?
Ooh, that is a good one. Give me there is some Sam Darnold, honestly. As far as the game, as far as the base, the fundamentals, the quick release, the strong arm, there is physically, too. I think size-wise and speed-wise. Actually, Sam Darnold's might not be a bad little comp. He's been better at not turning the ball over. Big reason why he won the Heisman Trophy as well.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Third thing you need to know, I'll give you 3 quick little hits. Super proud of the Husky women's basketball team. Last year, made the NCAA tournament. Michigan was unbelievable, number 6 in the country, and they just shut them down. 12-point win, a whole bunch of folks there at Heck Ed, and that was fun to see. The Kraken continue to stay hot, 4-1 win last night. Nice to see Maddie Beniers score a couple goals. If the playoffs were today, Brady, they would be the last team in to the playoffs, but they, even after that, just abysmal losing streak they were on, so they have rebounded a little bit. And then those Houston Astros, Lyle, they don't just stand pat, huh? They add, where would this guy slot into their rotation? Number 2 guy?
Right now, yeah, probably behind Hunter Brown, or I'll say 3 behind Brown and then Christian Javier. But if you're a Mariners fan potentially worrying about this, I would say this. The deal's 3 years, $54 million, but it's one of these classic Scott Boras deals where there's an opt-out after every year. So either Imai's really good, you deal with him for 1 year and he's going to leave, or he's just not that impactful. So one way or another.
That's Tatsuya Imai, 3 years on paper. How would he compare? So he's not in the same mold as some of the most recent guys we've seen come from Japan?
I mean, he's got good stuff. He's got a chance to be good. He's got a funny slider, by the way. It moves the opposite way that a slider should. Like, it moves into right-handers rather than left-handers. But when Yoshinobu Yamamoto gets $325 million without throwing a pitch, and Imai's getting $18 million a year, that says the league believes there is a real drop-off there.
That is everything you need to know. A little women's basketball, a little NHL, a little MLB, a whole
We're talking
bunch of
sliders.
NFL. We're talking backwards sliders. I don't know if
White Claws.
Talking White Claws.
I don't know if you wanted everybody to know you're kind of a White Claw.
What's wrong with White Claw?
Are you kind of a
I have no problem telling you that I drink White Claw.
I didn't know that Brady was kind of a White Claw guy. Huh. Interesting.
Right,
see what the old text toy will have to
Whatever.
say
I don't care
about
what they
that
think.
What's Nick Wagner? When you guys have been on the golf course, is Nick Wagner a White Claw kind of guy?
That's a good. We haven't golfed in a while. We were gonna golf.
Is he a Bud heavy?
Well, he is like a kind of Midwest St. Louis area guy. So he would not surprise me if he's had some Anheuser-Busch.
Is he a Willow's PBR guy like Salk is at the turn? What
no,
exactly
I don't think Salk's a PBR guy, is he?
No. Those dollar PBRs at Willow's, those are.
Is that what the deal was back in the day when you were playing there?
Probably way back in the day. I think there was a round with Fiegels, Dilfer, and myself and Foley. That was a lot of fun out there. If my memory serves me right, but my memory is failing, and that's why we have great, co-hosts like you, Brady, filling in, and great guests like Nick Wagner. He is Brady's cohort down there in San Francisco. All the latest and the greatest when it comes to this matchup. We'll go right to San Fran for it next on Brock and Salk.
All teed up.
It all comes down to this.
The final game of the regular season.
One game
to decide who wins the NFC West Division.
And the #1 seed in the NFC.
Meaning if the Seahawks win, the road to the Super Bowl runs through Lumen Field in Seattle.
You can't do that unless you win the next one.
Seahawks 49ers tomorrow. Kickoff at 5. Pregame at 2.
This should be fun.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss. It's a new year and a perfect time to make the changes you've been dreaming of. Don't let those old habits and frustrations hold you back any longer. Our proven program gives you dedicated health coaches, ongoing support, real accountability, and a step-by-step detailed plan to help you lose 20 to 30 pounds in just a couple months with no drugs, shots, exercise, or fake food. Imagine more energy, better health, losing fat, fitting perfectly into your favorite clothes, and being down 20 or more pounds by March. Remove the stress of trying to do this on your own and book your free consultation at eastsideweightlossklinic.com.
Mike Salk here, inviting you to kick off the new year with a weight loss plan that's healthy and works really well. I used it to lose 35 pounds over 8 weeks. I was losing a pound a day. You go to eastsideweightlossklinic.com.
Join the 4,000 clients who we've helped lose 20 to 30 pounds in 60 days. Our remote programs allow you to lose weight from anywhere you live. Schedule your free consultation at eastsideweightlossklinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Matt Coker here with West Coast Men's Health. In the past 5 years, we've seen thousands of men at our clinics. Most guys tell us the same story, that in their early 50s, it's not that they couldn't function, they just needed help. They started taking Viagra, and it worked great at first. But after a few years, it stopped working. The problem is that their arteries had become more restricted since they started taking it, because Viagra does not unclog arteries. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we use acoustic wave therapy to target the real problem. We break down plaque and clear up the arteries so blood can flow like it did in your 20s. This restores function. And guys, listen to this. You won't have to take a pill anymore. So if this sounds like you, give West Coast Men's Health a call today and see how we can help.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon. Hello? You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture. And then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
With football season comes colder weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here with Keith Dashafeet from locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. So Keith, what's your next big play?
Well, Steve, right now get 40% off qualifying installs or no payments and no interest for 12 months on approved credit.
Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com. This is the home of the Seahawks.
Going to let one fly deep. Got a man out there. Ball is caught down at the 10-yard line, and it's JSN.
Seattle Sports.
IRG Physical and Hand Therapy doesn't just treat injuries, they elevate athletes. From weekend warriors to elite competitors, IRG Sports Institute clinics are built for performance, blending top-tier physical therapy with advanced sports science and personalized training plans. Hey, Brock Hewitt here with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and owner of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Why? Why elevate athletes as well?
Because here at IRG, Brock, our motto is we want you to be your best self, your best physical self, your best mental self, and your best community self. At our new IRG Fremont Sports Institute, we're providing that type of care. We've got the latest equipment, the greatest techniques, the providers there that are excited to get you better, basically bigger, faster, stronger. Doesn't matter if you're a weekend warrior, a recreational athlete, an elite athlete, we will make you to be your best.
You'll work with specialists who understand the grind because they've been there. With access to cutting-edge equipment and recovery techniques, you won't just heal, you'll come back stronger. Visit IRGPT.com, IRGPT.com.
More than 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide a lifeline to breast and gynecologic cancer patients, and you can help us make a difference. Join us for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration on January 31st at Mary Hill Winery in Woodinville's Wine Country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
This hour is brought to you by Trajan Wealth Management.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Favorite flavor of White Claw? That seems to be the common question on the text toy. Brady, got a favorite flavor?
I do.
Is it blue raspberry? What is it?
It's a green apple, as a matter of fact. I may have had a couple green apple White Claws last night.
Oh, very good. Little green apple. Well,
crisp green apple, I think is what they actually call it.
I think when you were filling in a couple weeks ago, didn't we have one of your other peers at ESPN? Who was that? What?
It's Kevin Seifert. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Kevin Seifert.
Who covers the Vikings. Yep.
That's exactly right. That's who popped on. So it is always fun to have you fill in for Salk because you've got great relationship with your peers that do the same job that you do on a daily basis for ESPN. Nick Wagoner does that down in San Francisco. And Mr. Wagoner, I was kind of curious.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, your buddy Brady, I don't know, about 8, 9, 10 weeks ago, he buried your Niners. Buried him. You know, once Fred Warner went down, he's filling in. He's like, they're done. Put a fork in them. McCaffrey ain't staying healthy. Bosa, Warner, they're done. They're done. I'm curious if you had that same feeling 8, 9, 10 weeks ago and how surprised you are that the number 1 seed is going to be on the line tomorrow night.
Yeah, I definitely don't think Brady was alone in that feeling. And it's funny, actually. George Kittle just the other day said, nobody expected us to be in this position, including us. So even in the Niners locker room, that doesn't mean they didn't think they'd be in playoff contention, but sitting here playing for the number one seed is really quite a story. And I personally didn't think they would be in this particular position. I thought maybe they could patch it together enough to sneak a wild card spot or something like that. But this team has just been very resilient, and they've figured out kind of what their path is forward, and they've been able to execute it. And it's a lot easier said than done, of course, but they have become a team which this is not a surprise to you guys if you've paid any attention to the 49ers, their offense is carrying most of the freight. The defense is doing just enough to help that offense win games, and their special teams is dramatically improved, which has also made a significant difference this year. But their offense is cooking right now. They're playing as good as anybody in the league on that side of the ball since Brock Purdy came back in Week 11, and that even includes a 3-interception performance against the Panthers. So it just gives you an idea of kind of where they're at right now, but nobody is scoring more points than them, and that was going to be the only real path for them to reach this point, and they have found a way to get there.
Well, first of all, hello, my friend, Nick Wagoner. Now, the NFL schedule makers did not consult us when they put this game on Saturday, because if they had, we would have told them, actually, Nick and I are going to play some golf down in the Bay Area, so you mind putting that game on Sunday? But here we are. We're not golfing together, but we are talking together on the radio. And I'm just curious more about how they've done it defensively, because, I mean, they have lost a lot of firepower.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick Bosa called game in Week 1 when he beat Abe Lucas off the edge and got the strip sack of Sam Darnold when the Seahawks were, marching towards the end zone there. Nick Bosa suffered a season-ending injury, their first-round pick. Season-ending injury, Fred Warner. Sounds like he may have a chance to come back, but how have they done it despite losing a lot of talented players on defense?
Yeah, Brady, it's really been something to watch, and it's really a credit to Robert Saleh just kind of adjusting on the fly and figuring out what they can do to at least hold the fort, right? And there have been games like last week, and it certainly is more of a challenge for them when they play better offenses like they did with the Bears, like they will this week with the Seahawks. But the game plan has been pretty simple because, just to be honest, guys, they don't have a pass rush. There is no pass rush here. Myles Garrett has like almost 25% more sacks by himself than the 49ers do as a team this year, to give you an idea of how little pass rush they have. But what they have done really well is a couple of things. First of all, they're very good at limiting explosive plays. So they are forcing teams to execute 14, 15, 16, 17 play drives. And the theory behind that being that the longer you have to execute, the more likely it is that you're going to make a mistake, whether that's a turnover, whether that's a penalty, whatever it is, that gives them a chance to at least get off the field in some way or another. And where that has shown up, guys, is they're also very good in the red zone, not necessarily at getting stops, but they have gotten a handful of key turnovers in the shadow of their own end zone, getting takeaways down there. If you look at win probability added, which I know is kind of a deep cut stat, but if you look at that in terms of their red zone defense, it's the best in the league because they have found ways to get fourth down stops or get takeaways when they get down there. So that's kind of been their method. They don't do a lot of things particularly well. Like if you just look at the basic stats, yardage and points allowed and all that kind of stuff, it's not great, but they've done enough to kind of hold it together and put themselves in a position where the offense can do a lot of the heavy lifting, and then they can just make a timely play or two that tips the game in their favor.
As a Midwesterner, are you a White Claw guy or no?
I'm not. No, I'm not.
No.
Anheuser-Busch. That was my theory.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm more of a beer guy in general. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of figured that. We'll just leave that right there. Tell me what in the heck Kyle Shanahan is doing here. All right. I'm looking at an injury report, and Christian McCaffrey looks like he's back. That looked a little more oblique than it did back to me, but he practiced. He'll be good to go. He'll play. I see Trent Williams not practicing, Ricky Pearsall, Upton Stout, George Kittle, Keon White. Typically when you don't practice for a majority of the week, you may be doubtful. Not one of those men is doubtful, huh? They're all 50-50 questionable propositions. Is that what I'm to believe?
I would say that's not quite accurate. The two that I would circle there that are Probably the most up in the air and probably the most unlikely to play would be Trent Williams and Keon White. Now, Keon White has a groin injury, and he actually did do some practicing yesterday. But again, they didn't do anything at full speed this week, guys, because this is their third game in 13 days. And Kyle Shanahan just felt like the need was more to get his guys rested up as much as possible. So gauging too much from practice participation, maybe a little bit of a fool's errand. With Trent Williams, obviously that's the big injury there that we're all kind of keeping an eye on. This is the first soft tissue injury of his career, guys. That's a long career. And so he doesn't really know exactly how it's going to react. He doesn't know exactly what the recovery process is. And so what we've been told is that he has made some progress throughout the week. I actually saw him yesterday, spoke to him briefly. He said, we'll see, when asked whether he was going to play this week. But Kyle Shanahan said he made good progress. And I just could tell from like watching him walk, he was certainly a lot better off than he was on Sunday night when he was very, very slow getting off the field. But I still think it's asking a lot on a short turn here. And the other complicating factor is, yes, this is a huge, huge game for both teams here, but it is not an end your season game if you lose. And so there is risk there if you play Trent Williams. Well, what if he has a setback and now you're losing him for the games that could eliminate you and end your season? And that's a tough needle to thread, I think. So my guess is you probably won't see him. I wouldn't completely rule it out. I never say never, but I think he's the one that's the most questionable out of that group. The other guys there, Upton Stout has gone through concussion protocol. He's made all the steps except for a couple, I think, but he wasn't in a blue no contact jersey yesterday. So I think that's probably a good sign that he's going to be ready to go. Then I think Ricky Pearsall and George Kittle will also be ready to roll as well.
And they didn't have Trent Williams for all but one snap of that Sunday night game against Chicago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep,
and yet
that's correct.
And no George Kittle, and yet there they were marching up and down the field, scoring at will. Brock Purdy, I believe it's 10 total touchdowns over the last 2 weeks combined. What can you say about the role that offense is on right now?
Yeah, but this is, Brock Purdy's played a lot of good football in his career, just even like from the start when he jumped in 2022 toward the end of that year. And then in 2023, of course, when he was in MVP conversations. I think this is the best I've seen him play. And I think part of it is like, we fall into this trap of like judging a guy based on who's around him, right? And so everyone always used to talk about, well, Brock Purdy, of course, his numbers are good. He's got the Avengers around him. That was what everyone always used to say. And then you look at this year, and it's like, well, you don't really have the Avengers. Like he's got Christian McCaffrey, who's been outstanding. He's had George Kittle here and there. He's had Ricky Pearsall here and there, but he hasn't had him all season. Juwan Jennings has been banged up. So he's doing it with a cast that isn't exactly the elite group that everyone's used to seeing him with. But what he's doing is he's extending plays with his legs when he has to. He's the best in the league at avoiding sacks. I go back to the Cleveland game, which it was a cold, windy, rainy day. That defense in Cleveland is a tough group to deal with. And it was one of those games where, like, this could be a 3-pick day if you're not careful, right? And you could make a lot of mistakes. And I think he threw the ball away 7 times, which you'd say, well, that's not a great stat. Well, it is in the sense of he was being smart with the ball and living to fight another day. And that followed, the Carolina game where he had the 3 interceptions. And so it was like, okay, here's a step forward in terms of decision-making and doing the right thing with the ball. So he knows when to take chances. He knows when not to. He is going to give you opportunities. There still will be takeaway opportunities because he's not afraid to put balls into tight windows, particularly when it comes to Juwan Jennings. So there is that. And I do think a lot of this game will come down to which team takes advantage of, those quarterback opportunities that are given to take the ball away. But Brock Purdy's playing really well right now. The offense is playing really well right now. And this is as good as they've been all year by far on that side of the ball.
Nick Wagoner here with us, Brady's cohort down there with 49ers, covering the San Fran team there for ESPN, and has done so really well for a long time. I don't know if you and Brady are the right guys to ask these questions to, because you're both pros with tremendous journalistic integrity. You do your job. You guys sit up in the press box, a little more sterile environment. You're not a man of the people with the people in the stands. But I am curious just to ask both of you to kind of gauge this. Do you feel as much fan vitriol between these two teams as you do any other team your 49ers and your Seahawks play, Brady?
I can't say that I do, no. And, I'm not sitting in the stands, like you said, so I don't hear a lot of that. But just kind of based on what I see on Twitter and what I hear from our guy Brian Nemhauser, the Hawk blogger, yeah, it does seem like this is still the top rivalry in the NFL. Would you, or in the NFC West, excuse me? Would you agree, Nick?
I would agree, yeah. And I think that, there's been so much, at least in recent years, it's kind of trended more towards Niners and Rams as that rivalry, just because of where they've been in the standings and the McVay and Shanahan connection and all that. But from a fan base standpoint, that Seattle fan base is so much stronger than LA. And I think that plays a huge part in it. And obviously Niners fans got so beaten down for so long by Russell Wilson just tearing them apart for so many years. That's why that 2019 moment was such a seminal moment for a lot of fans and why so many of them remember it so fondly. And then the Niners have kind of, taken the baton back here in recent years. But yeah, I'm with Brady. I think when I see on Twitter, I do think that there's a lot more vitriol between these two fan bases, and I see a lot of false confidence on both sides also. But you know how that goes. Fans always want to talk themselves into believing that their team is the best because they don't want to sit there and think about what the alternative might be.
Nick, what do you think of this Seahawks defense? Does it remind you of some of those Niner defenses that you've gotten to watch with so much talent, so much attacking the quarterback, making life miserable for the opponent? What do you feel from afar with both Mike Macdonald and this defensive group?
Yeah, they're outstanding, and I think I've said for a while now, and people down here didn't love it, but I think Seattle's the most complete team that I've seen this year, and I give a lot of that credit to Mike Macdonald. I thought that was a tremendous hire when they brought him in there, and obviously I saw what he was able to do with that Ravens defense, and against Brock Purdy and the Niners when they were really rolling in 2023 on Christmas night, and that has carried over. I haven't been surprised by that at all, but that defense, I just think that they are the most complete at every level. I mean, there's probably a couple of spots that you would have questions about there, at least on one side at corner, but aside from that, the front four is dominant. That's kind of how the 49ers have tried to build it. They don't have it this year, obviously, with some of the injuries and things like that. But that is where it all kind of spins off from. I've always thought very, very highly of Leonard Williams. I think he's one of the best guys in the league that probably doesn't get the amount of credit that he deserves. DeMarcus Lawrence seems like he's having a career renaissance when I turn on the tape and watch him. Ernest Jones, obviously, who has been a kind of a thorn in the Niners side in the past, even with the Rams. So there's so much talent there. And then obviously the young safety too has really come on. So I just think that team in general is the most complete. And in a season when I look around the league and I think this is as wide open as it gets, give me the complete team. Give me the team that I had that has something I could bank on. And that's why I look at even the Texans in the AFC, I know I believe in that defense. When I watch Seattle, I know I believe in that defense as well. And I think that's why it gives them a real chance. And it's why they're sitting in the position that they're in right now going into this week.
Nick, I believe you've covered 2 Super Bowls in the last 6 years, 3 NFC championship games, if I'm not mistaken. How do you think this 49ers team stacks up to some of the best 49ers teams you've covered in that stretch?
Yeah, it's actually 4 NFC championship games.
That's right.
It's 4, Brady.
Yeah, my apologies.
Yeah. No, this team's not as good as those teams. I mean, that's just as simple as plain as I can put it. 2023 and in 2019, they had really established themselves as clearly one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the NFL. It was going to be a disappointment if they didn't get to the Super Bowl. And that's true of 2019, even though that was kind of the first year where they turned the corner under Shanahan. But by week 8 or so, it was very obvious how good they were going to be. 21 and 22 were very different. 2021 was one of those years where they got off to a slow start. They had some injury things, and then they kind of hit their stride at the right moment, snuck into the playoffs, and then they were going on the road and beating everybody. I think this team is most like that one, and if you talk to guys in the locker room, that's what you would get. But the biggest difference, guys, with this team compared to some of those other teams is, and you guys know this, once you establish yourself as a team that is a force to be reckoned with, like the Niners did in 2019, you become the hunted. Everybody has got a target on your back. Everyone is expecting big things of you. This team is not like that. This team is more of the hunters. And we could talk all about what we want about the injuries. That has been a huge factor this year. But people are forgetting, lost in that mix, is they had a massive roster reset in the offseason. They lost more guys in terms of money paid out by other teams in free agency than any team in the history of the NFL this offseason. So this was a full-fledged youth movement. They leaned into the rookie class. They leaned into their second-year guys. So there was really not a lot of expectation around this team. Kyle Shanahan even told this team back in March, like, hey, guys, this is going to be different. It is not Super Bowl or bust here. Like, we need to go 1 week at a time and just kind of focus on trying to grow and get better as the season goes on. And they have found a way to do it. And so that is really kind of the biggest difference here. I think this is Kyle Shanahan's best coaching job. I would say part of that's kind of built into that statement is that this is probably the worst of the teams that he's had that have been in this position, at least in terms of where they're at right now from a roster standpoint.
Hey, Nick, last thing for me here. Nick Wagoner from San Francisco, ESPN, covers the Niners as Brady does our beloved Seahawks. Not asking you for a prediction, but just a couple things that you think will play a significant role Saturday night and who walks out of Santa Clara as the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Yeah, I think I hit on it earlier, and I know it's such a cliche, obvious thing, but like these are two quarterbacks that are going to give you opportunities for takeaways, and which team squeezes the ball. It's as simple as that, right? Like which team is the one that takes advantage when those opportunities arise. I think that's going to make a big difference. One thing that I don't know is getting talked about enough is there's still rain and things like that in the forecast for Saturday. So how can that affect things? The other thing that I would put into play here is the special teams. These are the two best, at least in terms of expected points added, special teams units in the league this year. So which team can take advantage there? Which one finds a way, whether it's to get a big return from Rashid Shaheed on Seattle side or Sky Moore from the Niners side? Both of those guys have been really tremendous this year after being traded for at certain points this season. So those are a couple of things that make it. And then for me, I just wonder how long the Niners defense can hold up, because I again, when they play better offenses like they did with Chicago last week, and Sam Darnold's not going to do some of the things Caleb Williams was able to do, but how long can they hold up? And if they can come away with some red zone stops, and that just means holding them to field goals instead of touchdowns, like they did back in week 1. Those are kind of the three main things that I'm circling going into this game.
I don't know if they sell White Claws there, and I don't know if they're allowed in the press box, but if you got a green apple or two for Brady, you can really make his new year. And big fan of those, and we're a big fan of you, Nick. That's some awesome intel, and it's going to be just a blast Saturday night. Can't wait to tune in, and it'll be here before we know it, man. So thank you for popping on with us. Keep doing the great work you do, pal.
You got it, guys. Take care. Thanks.
Thanks, bud.
There he goes, Nick Wagoner. Probably no green apple, white. Well, maybe in Santa Clara.
Am I not 2 for 2 on? Not that I had anything to do with booking this guest. That was all Maura Dooley.
Yes.
But am I not 2 for 2
really
on
good.
having great counterparts at ESPN who are just total authorities on the team that they cover? Great on the radio. Great people,
100%.
by the way.
Are they both good dudes too?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No,
I didn't really need to pat myself on the back there, but I was really trying to compliment Nick.
Elbow sore? Sure.
Yeah.
Yes. No, he did a great job, and I think those are 3 really legitimate keys. It's taken a step further than just the turnovers, right? That's the most obvious. That's easy. When Mike Macdonald's teams win the turnover battle, when they don't turn the ball over, they win. I mean, that's just – but you can't go into a game, and I've said that all week and really tried to impress that. And Sam can't go and play this game like, oh, can't make a mistake. Can't make a mistake. Can't miss a 3-foot putt. Can't miss a 2-foot putt. And what happens? When you have that kind of mentality, you miss 2-foot and 3-foot putts. And but these are guys that are aligned because they will pull the trigger. And that is a Shanahan, and that is a McVay, and that is a Kubiak, and that is an O'Connell, and that is everybody out of that system. They want you to let it rip. You can't play this game scared to make a mistake. And both of these guys, and Purdy's done it against the Seahawks, right? I mean, he has given them opportunities. And Rick Woolen, you took it away from him twice in week 1. Should have been 2 more. You should have won that game, right? I know there was a sack fumble late, but Rick Woolen, you make 2 plays on the ball, appropriately. One is for sure a knockdown, and the other's a pick and not a touchdown pass to beat you at the end of that game as well.
Yeah, it's funny. Before the season started, I wrote a story about how Sam Darnold, the year that he spent with the 49ers, in 2023 under Kubiak and Shanahan, backing up Brock Purdy, about how impactful that was for him to really just sit back and reset and learn in a proven, one of the best systems in the NFL, one of the best offensive minds in the NFL. And he also talked about how good it was to sit back and watch Brock Purdy play and to play within himself and to not feel like he's got to be the hero and to play within a system that is proven to set up quarterbacks for success. Now, that was 2023. That was Brock Purdy's second year. I think, and Nick talks about this, and you just did as well, I think Purdy as he's gotten older, not older, but as he's, got some years underneath him. I think he's gotten more comfortable at trying to be the playmaker. And not that he wasn't early in his career, but as Nick said, man, he will give you some opportunities by trying to force some throws into tight windows. We see that with Sam Darnold as well. And there's going to be some opportunities for turnovers in this game when you combine both of those factors.
You know what that is the equivalent of, Sam, watching Brock Purdy and learning from Brock Purdy? Because, Sam, this is equivalent of you playing with someone in golf, Brady, that is like you hit it farther, your swing is prettier, you've got more traits on a golf course, yet this guy just continues to stripe it down the middle every time. And he only hits it 240 off the tee, but he hits a 240 off the tee every time. And he knows his game.
And he aims for the center of the green, and he takes the big miss out of play.
And his short game and his putting is so good. And he's so, like, how in the world is this guy beating me? Because there is not a trait that Brock Purdy has that Sam Darnold does not. And, in fact, Sam Darnold's got a stronger arm. Sam Darnold's
I'd say
got
significantly
more size.
stronger. Is that fair to say?
Significantly stronger arm. He's got significantly, better size and vision. I think athleticism, they're probably similar. If they were to do agilities and 40s and verticals and all that stuff, it would probably be a wash. But I think Sam Darnold looked at that and went, hold on a second. This guy's Mr. Irrelevant for a reason because he doesn't have any traits, yet he is a machine. And yet he's so mentally tough and so mentally sharp and so fundamentally focused, right? And yeah, I think there was a lot to glean and learn from that. And now on the other side, if you're the Seahawks defense, you gotta keep him, right? These defensive line coaches love to say, keep him in the cage, right? Keep him in the well, keep him wherever. And if you can do that, you can suffocate him. And they've done that to him. And they've turned him over. And he's won because of that defense, right? I think he's 6-1 against the Seahawks. Is that right? In his 7 starts. I think that I saw that number floating around.
Yeah, I think the one time they've beat him was last year coming off the bye down in Santa Clara.
Yeah. I think that's about it. Every one of them has been largely close and contested, and but you've got to squeeze him. And your ends this week, when they rush, they better not get any deeper than him. And if he does start to move, you better retrace. And you better not have a new Uchenna Nwosu 4th down where all of a sudden, like, I'll just kind of freelance and I'll take an inside. Nope. Absolutely no, nay, never. Keep that dude in the pocket, suffocate those throwing lanes, hit him as you did in that week 1 matchup. And then when he throws it to you a couple times, Reek, you got to come down with it. And I think that will be some of the big keys come tomorrow night, a little over 24 hours from now. I'll take a little peek at that weather. Have you looked at the weather at all?
I have not had a chance to do that. Yeah, it sounds like it might be kind of crummy.
Why don't you kind of do that during the break, and then we'll come back with some of that intel, and we'll do as we do every Friday at 9:00, a little For You in Review. All of our interviews, and there have been some amazing ones again this week. I was just looking at some of these YouTube numbers of the Joe Buck interview and the DJ interview, and they're just off the chart. So we'll play you the best from each of those really good interviews that you can always find on YouTube. We call it For You in Review. We'll do it next. Brady in for Salk. Although we might hear from Salk at 9:30. We'll see. It's Brock and Salk right here on Seattle Sports.
All teed up.
It all comes down to this.
The final game of the regular season.
One game
to decide who wins the NFC West Division.
And the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Meaning if the Seahawks win, the road to the Super Bowl runs through Lumen Field in Seattle.
You can't do that unless you win the next one.
Seahawks 49ers tomorrow. Kickoff at 5. Pregame at 2.
This should be fun.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Everybody loves the season of giving, but now the season of paying for it is upon us. That not-so-wonderful time of the year when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, stare in horror at the balance, and resolve then and there to find new ways to save money. If you're among those Americans, why not start by cutting your wireless bill in half right now with Pure Talk's Saver Plan? It's easy. You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super-fast, nationwide 5G network for just $20 a month. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Ho, ho, ho. And if you're active or former military or a first responder, you'll save an additional 20% every single month. That's pound 250. Say Mike Rowe for the gift that keeps on saving from America's wireless company. Pure Talk.
How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I was able to achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You'll feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. I'm surprised and relieved every time I look in the mirror. You need to know what that feels like. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there is no one I would trust more than Advanced Hair Restoration. I experienced their exceptional standard of care firsthand. Your comfort and your results are the top priority of the entire Advanced Hair team. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185. Discover what meeting your resolutions could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Guys, low energy, low drive, or strength not what it used to be? For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, start with a free T-Check exam and consultation to get real answers. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. Call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with 0 investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
What does VA mean to me?
A place for my daughter to call home. Thanks to the VA Home Loan.
A new lease on life. The best healthcare team I've ever had is here at VA.
And education, and the opportunity to open doors I never thought possible with my GI Bill.
The financial support I need to manage the disabilities I developed because of my service.
Get what you earn. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get in the freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Well, one more hour in the new year here for us, Brady and for Salk. I think we're going to try to check in with old Salky from DuPont. He might be our lead caller at 9:30 when we open up the phone lines to many of you. But every Friday, on these Football Fridays, powered by Salk Casino. We love to at 9 o'clock. This was Maura Dooley's genius in one of our show meetings some time ago to put together, all these awesome interviews. And you can watch them all on YouTube, and many of you have found them there as I'm looking at the numbers. I think these are the biggest numbers of any single week we've had all season long, with Mike Macdonald, Daniel Jeremiah, Joe Buck, over 50,000 views. So you guys are already finding it there. But if you haven't, we'll give you a little snippet from each of those. We call it For You in Review.
Now,
Brock and Salk present For You in Review.
Time for our weekly chat with Jeff Passan from ESPN. We've got Joel Clark. Good morning, Joel.
Let's talk to Coach Macdonald. This is For You in Review, brought to you by the Seattle Sports YouTube page, where you can find the full version of every interview.
All right, big voice guy, my sincerest apologies for talking over you. What I was going to ask, Brock, is on the YouTube page, are we going to have some video highlights of Salk's golf round?
Good question. Good question. Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. No. He likes
At some point, we should do that.
As you know, there's some things on the golf course that are kept on the golf course. Brady. Okay. You know that. Those things are private. But our Monday interviews, post-game interviews with Coach Macdonald, they're not private. And Bull Salk and I sure loved this when he talked about this is not a practice squad, a taxi squad. It's not even next man up. Macdonald giving some insight into that.
One thing I think that we've grown in from really the latter part of last year into this year was, hey, if we're going to do something, let's make it the way that we want to do it. Let's make it our style that fits our team, our identity, our people. And so that's something that is the way that really honestly, it's part of John's vision of how we want to construct our roster, frankly. And it was new. That's new to me from coming here. I've spoken about this in the past, but the more I learned about it and understood, how we were trying to operate, I was like, man, this is brilliant. This is definitely the way to do it. This is awesome. And so I think we messaged it better to our guys about what we were trying to do, and it was more of a streamlined communication to kind of get everybody on board on how we want to operate and hey, how critical it's going to be that we're going to need everyone.
All 68, 53 on the active, 15 that are on the ready, and all 68 of you. And man, have we seen contributions? Have you added up the total number of contributions of how many different players, Brady?
I've not, but remember it's 17 on the practice squad when you have an international player. So 70. They don't refer to their 50. They don't refer to it now as a 53-man roster. It's the 70-man roster. And no, it's a good question, and I have been meaning to do that, to go back, and this is something, some deep dive that our stats people would have to help me out with. But like, how many total players have played a snap for you? I would imagine that the Seahawks are up there just because, they have really leaned on they call it the ready squad, but their practice squad. And, if you just look at the way the rules with practice squads in the NFL have evolved over the last few years to where, they're bigger, so you have more people on them. And the rules have expanded to where you can have veterans now. And I think that started in COVID when, you just needed more guys at the ready because you never knew when someone was going to come down, or maybe it started before that. But basically, practice squads have become much more of an extension of your 53-man roster than they were before, where it sort of used to be more of like, okay, this is your practice squad. It's guys who are on the scout team and guys who are like really young developmental prospects. And, you didn't have older guys on practice squads. Well, you got veteran guys mixed in with the young guys, and it's more of an extension of your 53-man roster more than ever. And the Seahawks are really leaning into that. And I think John Schneider, as Mike Macdonald said there, like that is really started with John Schneider, and, and they have really messaged that of, hey, like you're not here just to develop and sit and be on the practice squad. Like you are here to be ready to step in at a moment's notice.
So funny. I remember back to my rookie year being drafted in the third round, and Gil Haskell saying to me, this is going to be a year for you to take a breath and just watch and learn and develop. And those days are gone, right? Usually you're not carrying 3 active QBs anyway, and you're going to be on that developmental or ready squad. And cool messaging, something that we sure enjoyed listening to. Daniel Jeremiah, we do it every Tuesday with DJ. Every Tuesday there's something that I always take away and learn. And when it comes to this matchup tomorrow night, he echoes a little bit of what my head coach at Valor Christian echoes, and that is that Kyle Shanahan, man, he has a big menu of plays, and he does it at a real high level. Here was DJ.
San Francisco's also offensively is
they're humming right now. I mean, they were an absolute machine the other day. I went back and watched that tape again, and I'm like, I'm going to sort through and watch all their explosive plays and try and find some connectivity. And it's like, nope, that's a large menu you got to defend against.
You know what strikes me? Big menu and innovative. And whether it's use check, it's whether, and obviously McVay and Shanahan this year and their usage of tight ends and now how everybody's following suit. They just somehow, some way, Brady, always seem to be the ones innovating and everybody else playing a little bit of catch up.
Mm-hmm. And I think we should put some context to this, and by we I mean you. And I've always been curious about, like, okay, when you hear people talk about the menu of plays and the playbook as a whole. And now this is impossible to know for sure, and I'm sure it varies by coach and team. But like, how many plays do you think a given team has in a given offensive playbook, and how many do you think they carry into a given week?
Yeah, so that's a little complicated because he'll have a concept. Yeah, he'll have a concept, right? Whether that's outside zone. Now, here are all of the different ways that we want to get to that, from different formations and from different personnel groupings and different shifts of motions. So if you consider each of those as being like a different look and a different play, I mean, you're talking hundreds. But for them, it's like, no, this is just, we make the hard look simple, and the simple look hard to the defense. But for us, like, these are our core concepts. There is a bunch, though. I remember sitting just a couple weeks ago, Coach Peterson, I don't think he'd mind me sharing this. He's around the Rams and McVay a little bit, and he got to be around Matthew Stafford, and he's like blown away. I just can't believe how much verbiage he can handle. And Brock Purdy is the same way. I cannot believe that they can just the 22-word plays with.
Let's hear one. Give us a play.
My old famous red right
tight close split left G, corner halfback flat on two. Don't drop it. Don't drop it.
That's exactly right. Now that's like one play that I think has 14 words. But now what they've done is they've gone, okay, da 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 da, alert, da 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 da. So you have 2 plays in there, and to do that, it is spitting out seriously over 20 words. And when you hear people do it in real time, and you sit in those meetings, Brady, you'd be like, are you kidding me? Like, it sounds like a foreign language. And how does he have all of this that quickly? But, man, it's been in it. Matthew's been in it a bunch. Brock Purdy's been in it now for, 5 years? So it's the same language over and over and over and over and over and over, and you learn it. And it gives you great advantage. And you can do lots of little tweaks and lots of little things that others can't do because they're just trying to get the first thing down, and you're number 1. By year number 5, hey, man, you check, we're going to do this little orbit motion, and then we're going to do this little reverse off of it, and then we're going to do this little thing off of it, and it's going to really screw with Mike Macdonald and those guys on the other side. But for us, not that big a deal. Not that big of a wrinkle. So that was some cool conversation with DJ. Let's get lastly here to Joe Buck. Joe was on with us a couple days ago. He and Troy, you can tell, man, they get up for big games too. And he just can't wait to watch this one element of the Seahawks in person.
Can't wait to watch them play in person. I feel like I've watched them 10 times on TV, but to actually be in the stadium and feel them flying around defensively in that, front 6, front 7, whatever you want to call it, I think is going to be, it's going to jump off the screen and jump off the field for me watching it. I'm excited about that.
You said this earlier in the show, Brady, that when you played those Niner teams, and when they knocked you out of the playoffs or beat you in 2019, it was Eric Armstead. It was Nick Bosa. It was Fred Warner. It was Dre Greenlaw. It was like, goodness gracious. They all run and hit. And then even the backups, that weren't the names, they all ran. Well, it's the same way with Leonard Williams and DeMarcus Lawrence and Ernest Jones and this little Drake Thomas and Byron Murphy. And goodness gracious, do they just come at you? And I think you've got the equivalent of what they had in this matchup for many of those years.
Yeah, and in addition to being, I think, kind of outmanned up front for a number of years, just Kyle Shanahan, towards the end of that, kind of Shanahan-Carroll when they were both in there. I mean, Carroll had Shanahan's number, remember, for the first many years of that rivalry, and even going back to the later years of Harbaugh. But, Shanahan was just, I think by the end of Carroll's tenure, just that was such a scheme advantage.
Oh, and line of scrimmage advantage. Yeah. It just wasn't even close, Brady. Hey, did you do your homework on weather? Because we got to get to that and everything you need to know. I teased the Bill Barnwell All-Pro team. I didn't even get to that. So much still to do. I think we're going to check in DuPont. We've got a friend down there, many of you on the phones eventually as well. We'll try to do all that next year in the last 40 minutes. Brady ends, Brock and Salk and Seattle Sports.
Yeah, it's about to go down. Bump and Stacy. Weekdays 10 to 2.
The NFC West and NFC number 1 seed, 2 open battles that are really settled with 1 game Saturday night.
It's all about Brock Purdy. Can you rattle him? Because when he throws interceptions, this offense just doesn't go. And quietly, Christian McCaffrey is putting together another great season, and ain't nobody really talking about him. Usually he's the guy who's hurt, who's banged up, who you're waiting to get back, and he's been solid all year.
Only on Seattle Sports.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Want to make 2026 your year of adventure? Book that trip and learn a new language with Babbel. Go ahead, make a resolution you can stick to. Now is the time. Babbel's New Year sale is here. Unlock all of the languages on Babbel with the lifetime subscription for 65% off. Just go to Babbel.com and start today. Babbel teaches you relevant words and phrases, so you can start speaking with confidence in as little as 3 weeks. And because Babbel's bite-sized lessons fit easily into your daily routine and are easy to remember, you'll be talking like a local in time for takeoff. Dive into the world of language learning content with Babbel's videos, podcasts, and stories from around the world, full of culture bites and language learning tips. Turn your daydream into a destination this year with Babbel. But don't wait. This offer ends January 15th. Get Babbel's lifetime access for less at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health. It's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
I was in the hospital with my son for 18 months.
When he got injured, I knew I had to be strong.
I just remember rushing into his room and giving him a big hug and letting him know I was there.
These veterans and families are just a few of the heroes we serve at Homes for Our Troops. We build specially adapted custom homes with features like wheelchair access and automatic door openers that allow them to focus on their recovery and family.
This house is freedom. It's hope. It's a new beginning.
Visit hfotusa.org.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. Touchdown! Seahawks! Ken Walker III! Get everything Seahawks at seattlesports.com.
Did you know in Washington State, you can see a physical therapist without a referral from your doctor? That's right. Thanks to Direct Access, you can skip the wait and get the care you need right away. Shannon O'Kelly, how has Direct Access changed the game?
Direct Access for us, Brock, is a game changer. Why? Is because there is so much research and data out there that says if you get in early when you have a musculoskeletal problem or an injury, the earlier you get in and we can start care, the better outcomes and the decreased downstream cost, okay? So it's so important. Our providers are all doctors of physical therapy. They're all trained to identify situations and problems. They've got the skill, they've got the talent, they've got the knowledge. If you get in and start therapy early, we're going to get you back to activity, pain-free, and moving and having fun.
Fast, easy, effective. Direct access is your path to better movement, starting with a single step. Visit irgpt.com to schedule your appointment today. irgpt.com.
Breast cancer is a tough battle for anyone to fight. But when you can't work, care for your kids, or even put food on the table, that diagnosis can be devastating. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to support Northwest Hope and Healing. Our mission is to provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare, so patients can focus on healing. For more than 25 years, Northwest Hope and Healing has distributed over $3 million to thousands of local cancer patients, and you can help make a difference in our community. Join us on Saturday, January 31st, for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of fine wine, gourmet cuisine, and inspiration at Mary Hill Winery in the heart of Woodinville wine country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support on January 31st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
A couple things you need to know that have kind of been newsworthy to me, even over the course of these 3 hours. Brady and Nick Wagoner, your peer in San Francisco, brought one of them to light, and that is the fact that these 49ers have not ramped it up all week. Their third game in 13 days. Like, if you want to complain about a short week, and I think Salk did a good job of minimizing that and giving the other side of it, like, hey, man, this is harder on San Francisco. Like, I know you had the East Coast trip and had to come back, but you had a mini bye before that. The Seahawks have ramped it up. They've gone to full speed. The 49ers have not at all. So these injury designations probably play a little role in that. We know Charles Cross is out. We know Rashid Shaheed is in. He'll be full go. For the 49ers, we know McCaffrey is in, but 5 other guys limited. And your peer down there, Nick, said, well, Trent Williams, well, wait and see. And when you've not had to crank it up all week, it really is wait and see. And there really will be game time decisions. And we'll get all of that tomorrow night. And by the way, Jim Cantori joins us, also known as Brady Henderson. What's the weather forecast looking like, Brady?
Oh, you know what? I looked it up. There is rain in the forecast down in Santa Clara, not to be confused with Santa Clarita. But, yeah, Santa Clara. So looks like 85% chance of rain tomorrow. And you're looking at temperatures to whatever that matters in kind of mid-50s. But yeah, sounds like it could rain, and it's been raining for a while. That, of course, is a grass field down there. So you could be looking at maybe a bit of a sloppy playing surface.
And you look at 2 QBs that don't have big hands, 2 QBs that put the ball in harm's way a bunch. Sam Darnold asked yesterday about how he kind of navigates that line as the league's leading turnover maker. What's his mindset?
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Yeah, Sam basically just said, what? It's on me.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And many times it's like the early part of that's on him. You see the end result in the tip balls, but it's what he can control beforehand. And he and Brock, I think the one that turns it over less, yet still lets it rip, probably going to be the one to win this game. Speaking of letting it rip, Texas Tech, 4 turnovers, 22 minutes time of possession, terrible. As they were shut out, get all the way to the quarterfinals, they were the 4 seed, shut out by Oregon, losing 23-0. The night before, Ohio State, the 2 seed, they lost to Miami, and then Old Indiana, the only one of the top 4 seeds coming off of a bye that did their thing. They just absolutely bashed and battered Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb and humiliated Alabama, one of their worst bowl losses ever. This one also a quarterfinal. That was 38-3 in the Rose Bowl. And then the other team that was ranked in the top 4, the biggest favorite of the weekend, Georgia, well, they fell to Ole Miss 39-34. Do you get to watch a little bit of that, sipping on your green apple White Claws?
I did not. No, I did not. No, I had some things to do. Got to get ready for this this trip to the Bay Area. I am curious, though, Brock, because you're so good at this. You're so in tune with both the college and the NFL games. If Fernando Mendoza's NFL comp is Sam Darnold, what about Dante Moore?
Dante Moore.
Down in Oregon.
That is a good question. So 6'3", he's a good size. They compare him to Jaden Daniels, which is ridiculous to me because Jaden can run, and he doesn't run. But their release and their accuracy are very similar. So he would be like a non-running Jaden Daniels, would be my comp.
Same wiry frame as Jaden Daniels?
No, he's a little bigger. I think they list him at 6'3", 205. I think he's bigger than that. But I'm just talking like fluid, easy release. Okay. Snap of the ball's out fast, ball is very accurate. So if you were to take Jaden's running ability away, which he did a little bit this year, right, with all the injuries that he had, and he was just simply a pocket, passer, he'd still be super efficient, super smooth. So he would that'd probably be the direction that I would go there. But yeah, we'll have a whole bunch of those conversations, thankfully. Not about a Seahawk quarterback, because this is not overall a great draft group nor a great draft class at quarterback.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
And then the last thing you need to know, I'll give you a little triumvirate here. I've mentioned this a few times. Kudos to the Husky women's basketball team. An enormous win for them. They got a USC transfer, this gal from Boise. It was awesome. 22 points, 16 rebounds. They beat Michigan, who was top 6 in the country and playing really good. Beat them at home, probably get them ranked again. The Kraken did their thing, win 4-1. Nice to see Maddie Beniers score a couple goals. They will go up to Vancouver, a quick little turnaround. And then lastly, I had promised you this old Bill Barnwell All-Pro team, Brady.
Yeah.
And I think this is a little bit telling with this matchup as well. The Seahawks have 4 on the first and second team, 3 first-teamers. Jackson Smith and Jigba, not a surprise. I think Michael Dixon, a little bit of a surprise, not a Pro Bowler, but he's Barnwell's All-Pro. And Ernest Jones, not a Pro Bowler, but also Bill Barnwell, first-team All-Pro. Leonard Williams, second-team All-Pro. 4 Seahawks, 1 49er, Trent Williams, who will be very questionable of whether or not he plays tomorrow night.
Yeah, and man, it's crazy. Another one of our colleagues at ESPN, Jeremy Fowler, remember for the last few years, he's done the rankings by position, right? The 10 best players at every position. And for the first few years he was doing that, it really kind of highlighted the talent disparity, right, between the Seahawks and the 49ers, where the 49ers had so many of those top 10 guys, and the Seahawks had really good rosters, just it was more kind of spread out, and you didn't have as many of those top end guys. I'm very fascinated to see what that list is going to look like next year, because now you're talking about Byron Murphy is maybe a top 10 guy. Leonard Williams probably should have been in there, but he's certainly going to be there. Devin Witherspoon, you're going to have a lot more Seahawks names in that top 10.
JSN, maybe a Gray Zabel, a whole bunch more. That is everything you need to know for the final time of this week, but the first time here in 2026 as we welcome in the new year. I would like to welcome in a few of your calls. 866-979-3776, 866-979-3776. We do this every Friday. It is a little unique. It's kind of a quasi-holiday weekend. I know that many of you probably have the day off and a 4-day weekend, but I know many of you are also going to be cranked up tomorrow night on tilt, ready for this one with everything that's on the line. So the phone lines are open for you. I would love to hear from a few of you of what you think will go down tomorrow night, what you think are a couple of the big keys. I hope there's more Graz's out there. I saw Graz's prediction. Graz thinks it's going to be a bloodbath. Thinks the Seahawks big, and I sure hope that the Graz father is right on this one. Yep. But everybody else is like, super close. I think NFL Network, everybody was within 3 points, and it was about 50-50 split and everything. But, 866-979-3776 if you got a bead and a feel for what's going to go down. We will check in. The first caller will be a guest from DuPont, a very special guest. He won't give a prediction, but he'll give a whole lot of opinion. We'll do that next to wrap up this show. Brady in for Salk. It's Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Yeah, it's about to go down.
Bump and Stacy. Weekdays 10 to 2.
The NFC West and NFC number 1 seed, 2 open battles that are really settled with 1 game Saturday night.
It's all about Brock Purdy. Can you rattle him? Because when he throws interceptions, this offense just doesn't go. And quietly, Christian McCaffrey is putting together another great season, and ain't nobody really talking about him. Usually he's the guy who's hurt, who's banged up, who you're waiting to get back, and he's been solid all year.
Only on Seattle Sports.
The new year is finally here, and you could kick the new year off right by getting in shape and making Top Fitness your first stop. Hey, Brock Hewitt here with my friends at Top Fitness, where their stores are celebrating the new year with some great deals. You could take your New Year's resolution seriously with the very best fitness gear there is set up in your home by our professional installers. They sell the best quality products available. Brands like Precor, True, Octane, Inspire, and Hyrox. Come in now and check out the best deal of deals on treadmills. They're Precor 885 treadmills that are lease returns normally sell for over $13,000, now only $36.99, including a full 3-year warranty. This is the same commercial treadmill sold to health clubs worldwide. And every new treadmill, elliptical, and home gym, well, they're all on sale. They got the largest selection of home fitness equipment in Washington, and their staff will show you why. It's no secret why everybody from pro athletes to personal trainers love their stores. Locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
Hey everyone, Bum here for Seattle U men's basketball. Next up for the Redhawks, Gonzaga. This is going to be big. Grab your tickets for Seattle U versus Gonzaga January 17th at Climate Pledge Arena. Go to seattleu.com/tickets. Redhawks rising.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-949-1441. That's 800-949-1441.
I started Davis Law Group in 1994 to fight for the underdog. And as our team has grown, we've stayed true to that mission. Today, Davis Law Group is known for providing excellent service and even better results. Visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com to get your free book on car accident law.
When I found out my son was smoking weed, I thought it was just part of adolescence.
But then I found out how powerful weed is now.
When teens use vapes or dabs, the potency can be 80 to 100% THC.
Use of high THC products by youth can cause hallucinations, cannabis-induced psychosis,
and come with increased risks of suicidal thoughts,
planning, and attempts.
Just Say No, KNOW. Go to justsayno.org today for the facts.
A public service message from Johnny's Ambassadors.
It's the best time of the year, Toyota-thon. Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are providing you with large savings and the widest selection of inventory on Toyota favorites like the 2025 Tacoma, leasing at just $259 a month with $39.99 due at signing. The 2026 Tundra, financing at 2.99% APR, up to 72 months, and $1,000 bonus cash. The gas and hybrid RAV4s and the Corolla Cross. It's Toyota-thon. Whether you're in the north or the south, they got you covered. Visit ToyotaofKirkland.com and ToyotaofRenton.com. Offers valid until January 5th, 2026. Excludes taxes, titles, license, dealer accessories, and a $200 negotiable dealer documentation fee. Model 7540.
O'Brien. Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing.
Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Google and Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing.
Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture. And then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with AutoPay, plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Oh, you know what that song means, right, Brady Henderson?
What's that?
The other BH, Fela Kuti. You know what Fela Kuti means, right? It means Friday, final segment of the week. Taking calls. And we're going to start with a great caller, one of the real friends of the show. He's Mike. He's down in DuPont. Mike, you want to weigh in on what you think is going to go down tomorrow night in the Bay?
Ooh, I'm feeling really good about it. Better than I've felt at any point this week. I don't know. As we get closer and just kind of looking at the two teams, I feel pretty good about it, Brock. Feel pretty good.
Gosh, you sound familiar. This Mike in DuPont has a familiar. Anybody ever told you how much you sound like my normal co-host? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Just
good.
Walking.
How's your warm-ups? Good.
Walking through the mist. Yeah.
Now, is this going to be one of like those PGA Tour walk and talks where they do on TV where you stick the earpiece in and we get the camera crew and like we basically play the first hole with you? Is that what's going down?
As you guys said earlier, I heard you. No video on the golf course. That's the rule.
No, but you can have your AirPod in. We can hear the sweet swing of your. What are you hitting off the first tee? What are we going driver?
Hybrid. First, not off the driver. Hybrid off the first tee. We'll go driver on 2.
Okay.
It's probably 5, 7, 5, 8, 9.
No driver on 3, Mike. You got some trouble there left.
Yeah, don't need that. Don't need that in my life.
So are you channeling a little of the Graz father? Is that what you're doing right here? Because the Graz sees this like 35-21. He doesn't think that the Niners are going to be able to stop the Seahawks, and the Seahawks have a big line of scrimmage. No, this is not channeling the Graz. You're not seeing a 3-score win from the
No, I'm really not seeing that. No, I'm just feeling good. I wouldn't say I'm feeling overconfident or anything like that. The Seahawks team's just been playing so well. The defense is so good, and you feel like they're just going to get so hyped for this. I don't – if they can shut them down enough, I don't expect them to, not let San Francisco move the ball. But if they can do what they've done recently in the red zone, I love their chances.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, where are you at with Sam Darnold? And for the first 10 weeks of the season,
that's a loaded question, Brady. That is a loaded question.
Well, for the first 10 weeks of the season, no quarterback was playing better football than Sam Darnold, in my opinion, and based on the numbers. Kind of shaky. He is 27th in total QBR over the last 7 weeks with 10 turnovers in that span, and yet here they are. 13-3, have a chance for 14 wins and the number 1 seed. Where are you at with what you've seen from Sam Darnold over the last, we'll call it 6-7 weeks?
Well, of course, I'm teeing off here in about 20 minutes, so that doesn't give me enough time for all of my thoughts on Sam Darnold because it goes in so many different directions at once. Ultimately, I like Sam Darnold. Can't say I love him. I can't say I totally trust him. I can't say I feel 100% confident that he's going to deliver in a big game. But he's clearly a good quarterback. And when they do the right things with him and he is careful with the football, you see success. When they roll him out of the pocket, when they use play action, when the running game has a commitment enough so that the other team has to respect it, and they get him running and moving around, I like Sam Darnold a lot. When I see him in the shotgun and I see him kind of just scanning the field, I start getting nervous that the ball's going to get tipped, that he's going to throw a pick, and then I don't love Sam Darnold nearly as much. So I wish I could give you a good, straight answer to your question. I just don't know which version of him is going to show up.
Rank in order of success for me, please. These 3 things that went down on New Year's Eve. Your liquid concoctions, your
Sure.
ribs, and your game.
Game.
Say that again. I'm sorry. Sorry, you
The game-
cut out there. Yeah,
The
go
game
ahead.
never happened. The liquid concoction was so good that the game never materialized. I would say liquid won. Food and the short ribs were good. The fondue was even better.
Oh.
And then the game never happened.
You guys never did the twister, huh? You never got down and got
Never
twister?
made it to the game part of the evening. That just never materialized.
Hey, wait, Salk, I have not talked to you since your big Euro Jam in Iceland and Denmark. Tell us about that.
Home run.
Let's see, Copenhagen A-, Iceland, specifically Reykjavik, A to A+. Just awesome. Loved it. Absolutely fell in love with Reykjavik. Can't wait to go back in the summer.
Okay. Last thing, got a few callers on I want to get to. 866-979-3776. You know that number by now. 866-979-3776. Last thing for you, do you know your playing partners yet? Have you gotten any feeling?
Well, I have one. I'm playing with a friend, so I know one.
All right.
This is the problem with Brady filling in for me is like I book a golf trip when I'm out, and then Brady can't play with me.
Correct.
So I'm playing with Dunk, who's a good friend of Justin Barnes, who I played with a number of times. And then I don't know who we're playing with. I'm going to find out in a moment. I'm stuck talking to you two, Jackal.
Okay, all right. Well, go warm up. Go get. I don't know anybody getting
Warm
hurt.
up.
Go warm up.
No, we just go and hit. Let's go. If Brady was playing with us, he wouldn't even be here yet.
That's I would be probably getting through Lakewood right about now. I'd be driving probably 10, 15 miles over the speed limit. I'd be like, hey, Mike, go ahead and pay for me, and I'll Venmo you back, and I'll see you at the first tee.
I love it.
Well, the home course looks beautiful. The greens look spectacular. The day is warm enough, just a little bit of mist, and I'll see you guys Monday morning, hopefully getting ready to celebrate a Seahawks win and a first-round bye.
That'd be pretty awesome. There he is, Mike from DuPont, one of our favorites. He's on with us every Friday. Have a great time, buddy, and we'll talk to you Monday.
Play well, Mike.
There he goes. There goes the great Mike from DuPont, only second to Mike up in Edmonds, who I really enjoy talking to, especially during baseball season. Got a few of you on the line. Would love to hear from a few more of you. The phone lines and the mic will be yours, 866-979-3776. I'd like to know your confidence level on what you think is going to go down. Remind me quickly, Brady, before I go to Greg out in Iowa, remind me of 2019. I remember the final play. Jacob Hollister runs a little shallow. He's a foot short of the goal line. I remember the final play, but do you remember the majority? Have you gone back this week and looked at that game in particular?
I started watching the first half of it, but late in that game, a couple plays I remember were there was a 5-yard penalty that they had when they were getting near the goal line because they couldn't. There was some substitution issues, and it probably had something to do with Marshawn Lynch showing up that week and not really. Having played in a while, and I think they got a delay penalty that really cost them. And then there was a non-call of what could have been called pass interference. I believe Jacob Hollister was on the receiving end of that target in the end zone. So between that and, the final play coming, that football was an inch, if that, away from the goal line. They certainly had chances to win that game.
Been a lot of compelling theater between these two teams. That is for sure. I would guess it's going to be compelling tomorrow night as well. What do you all think out there? Let's go to line number one. Let's go to Greg. I remember this call. Greg's out in Iowa. I see on my little show notes here. I remember you calling into the show and maybe even your daughter the last time around. Is that right?
That is right. Thanks for having us on this morning.
You got it.
We got a chance to call in now that school's off again.
Gotcha. Yeah, makes sense. Well, what do you got for me this week, you and Isabel?
Before I turn over to Isabel, I just wanted to thank Lyle for being a good sport with the segment Is Lyle Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? That segment has been on repeat in our household, and I think Isabel might have it memorized. So just props to Lyle for going through with that.
And remind the audience again, how old is Isabel?
She's 9. She's in 4th grade, so she's not quite the 5th grader, but close to that.
Okay. Has Isabel learned about Sigmund Freud yet, or put Isabel on the phone.
Freud, but she definitely knew that the sun was a star.
Okay, good. Does she know that any other mammals? Isabel, do you know any other mammals out there? Don't worry about it. No, never mind.
We're thinking on that one.
She doesn't need
All
to
right,
waste her time
Let me
with
go
that
ahead and
stuff.
turn it over to Isabel.
Okay, turn it over to Isabel. What do you got for me, Isabel? Happy New Year.
Well, thanks. When I called in August, I shared my top 3 favorite things about the show. Today, I want to learn more about each one of you.
Okay.
Hey, Brock, I have a question for you.
Okay. Yes.
I was wondering what made you interested in doing a Seattle sports radio show after you finished playing for the Seahawks.
Yeah, because I couldn't do much else, Isabel. Like a lot of old, broken down football players, you either coach or you do media. I did a little real estate, but the door opened, and I sure love doing it and love having you part of it. So thank you. All right.
Yeah. Lyle, you said on this show that science was your least favorite subject in school. What was your favorite subject in school?
Recess.
Oh, Lyle.
I agree with you on that one.
PE?
Yeah, probably PE if you want to count that. I really, really did not have a favorite subject. I hate to break it to you, but that's how much I hated my time being in school. So, yeah, probably stuff that involves sports.
Awesome.
All right. Maura. So since I'm from Iowa, and I love Iowa, I wanted to know where in Iowa you went when you visited the greatest state ever.
Oh man, this is me being a bad friend. I'm trying to remember what the actual city was.
Maura.
It was years ago. Okay. You guys act like I go every year.
Uh-huh.
But I don't.
It was Iowa City, Maura. It was Iowa City, right outside of Des Moines. Maybe.
Are you sure, Brock?
No. That's good.
But
You
I
got
did
one
get to
for
go to the Field of Dreams, and that was awesome.
That is fun.
That is
All
on
right.
our list of things to do. I've lived here for 12 years. We've never done it.
Oh,
so.
wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having us on. And I also just want to thank you as a parent, Brock and Mike, in absence, for all your 6'7" references that you continue to do.
6'7". There you go. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Isabel. Always fun to hear from our listeners out in Iowa. Brady, she had a question, but you answered it earlier. You love green apple.
Yeah, that was her question. Yeah.
Okay,
Sure, she was
Joseph.
dying
Let's go get to Joseph down in Portland. Joseph, let's talk a little football. What is going to go down some 30-some hours from right now? What's going to happen in the Bay?
All right. Well, first off, thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
All right. Before we get to that, just real quick on an entirely baseball-related note, Lyle is absolutely right. The Mariners definitely need to add one more impact bat. But now on to football.
Okay.
Brady was right. That 2019 game ended with Hollister being mercilessly tackled 1 foot in front of the goal line.
Not even.
There was an absolute pass interference. He was basically tackled in the end zone, but we won't get on the refs about that. This year, however, the Seahawks have a different tight end, like I was telling Lyle. A.J. Barner will not allow himself to be tackled from the 1 yard line as he barn stomps his way across the end zone for not one, but his second touchdown of the game, because I do believe that he is going to end up being the X factor in this Seahawks 27-17 ceiling victory.
Ooh, I would love that. I would love the number 1 seed. I would love a 10-point win. I do think the tight ends, and you saw that with the Bears last week, they exposed just about everything in that 49er defense. They are on hold-on mode. They are trying to limit the big play mode. They are trying to make you earn it because they don't have a whole bunch of pass rush, Brady. Yeah, and whether that's going to be outlets to K9 or Charbonnet or Barner or Cup underneath, those guys are going to have to do their thing. And that yards after catch, those were critical yards for AJ in Carolina.
Man,
those third down conversions,
yeah.
short of the sticks, you've got to break a tackle. You've got to make somebody miss and move the chains. He did that. That's got to continue Saturday night.
Yeah, that was a big 3rd and 9 play that he made. And A.J. Barner's not the fastest guy, and that's why he dropped to the 4th round. But he's got some elusiveness to him, and he's got a whole lot of power to him. And that is why he's been such a good weapon on that tush-push play. I want to say, I've added this up, I believe they are 9 of 10 on converting that tush-push, and that's not counting the 4 first downs they've gotten with A.J. Barner getting the opponents to jump off sides with his hard count. How many tight ends have good enough hard count to get an opponent to jump offside. So, man, A.J. Barner, I think 7 total touchdowns in year 2, wasn't really known as much of a receiving threat, was really known more as the blocking tight end coming out of college, and he's been both a really complete player, really has developed into one of the Seahawks' better players.
I would agree with that. Ryan down in T-Town. We'll take 2 more calls here. Ryan down in T-Town. What do you think will be the keys to the game tomorrow?
Morning, guys. Happy New Year, first of all.
You too.
I know you guys are talking about Sam Darnold and his athleticism, and honestly, with the rain, I think the running game is going to be really big in this one because, as we talked about, how Sam Darnold does turn the ball over quite a bit. I think the running game with Sam Darnold is going to be a major key because of the whole weather situation. I don't know if they're going to end up throwing the ball just because of that, but that's just my opinion. But I hope the Seahawks win by 10 points like you guys are talking about. But I'm thinking it's going to be more or less of a 24-17 Seahawks victory.
Yeah, these two have played a lot of close games. They've been, obviously the first one in week 1, which does feel like a world away. Some of the different names and characters weren't even in that play, are going to be in this play and playing significant roles tomorrow night. I think Shaheed for Seattle being the biggest, then obviously no Bosa, no Warner, none of that stuff. Probably unlikely to see Trent Williams would be my guess, Brady. Mm-hmm. And you and I talked about this the last time that you were on, and that was Sam Darnold's use of his legs. Daniel Jeremiah kind of referenced him coming out of high school. He was a really good basketball player. He even played receiver early in his high school career because there was a D1 quarterback on the team. And we just have not hardly seen any of it, right? But when we do, and we see him step up into the pocket, when we do see him, instead of retreating backwards, if he would just go forward or on their boots, get outside and really be a threat to run, even if it's 4, 5, 6 yards, those can be significant plays. And I think the QB that makes 3 or 4 plays with his legs right there next to the turnover deal would be like, if I'm doing this game and, we used to do these little keys to the game, those would be my 2. The QB that limits the turnover worthy plays, number 1, and then number 2, the QB that gets 3 or 4 significant conversions, red zone, third down, situational conversions with his legs. I think those 2 boxes, the one that checks those, is ultimately going to be the number 1 seed. Yeah, and I looked at this up a couple of weeks ago when we talked about it. He was on pace at that point for his fewest rushing attempts in any season of his career, except for that, 2023 season where he was the backup to Brock Purdy. But in terms of like seasons where he's actually been the starter, he is running it less than he ever has before. And, part of that, we talked about this, is like, okay, so many of those running opportunities he has, instead of rushes, those end up, at least in the first half of the season, those ended up being big chunk plays down the field because he's so good at keeping his eyes down the field, and he doesn't escape the pocket to run. He escapes the pocket to buy time to see if there's something downfield. And so many times, or a good amount of times, that ended up turning into big plays. So you sort of understand why he's looking to throw the ball in those situations as opposed to run it. But now we've seen some of those have not been big plays. They've been turnovers. And that's where you start to say, okay, maybe some of those throws, whether maybe he just throws it away or maybe he does look to pick up some first downs with his legs. Sam, you really haven't seen it. Like, you haven't seen him run full speed in the open field a whole lot, save for, I want to say there was a run in that first Arizona game where he picked up a good chunk of yards. You haven't seen a whole lot of it, but Sam's a good athlete, and you do see it when he escapes the pocket, and you see him, he's able to kind of torque his body, even run into his left. He can, twist and throw while on the run, which is, I imagine, not easy to do. But there's some more athleticism in there. I think some more opportunities to use his legs beyond the line of scrimmage. Okay, I'm going to do one of my resolutions. A lot of times, like birthday wishes, you don't make them public. But one of my resolutions for 2026 is to praise Lyle more, right? Not just to pick on him. To really praise him. And Ray, down there in Portland, you're the last voice. You're the final caller of the day here. Ray, I think you would like to do the same, wouldn't you? Just give our guy Lyle a little pick-me-up and a little praise to start 2026. Do I have that right, Ray? Oh, Ray.
Lyle, he was going to say some really nice things.
You told me you wanted to compliment you. I don't know what happened to Ray.
Oh, it was going to be really flattering.
Ray, are you
well
there?
deserved,
Ray?
too.
Ray going once.
Oh,
Ray?
sorry, can you hear me?
Oh, Ray, thankfully. Hello? Jeez, yes.
Oh my God! So I have two things. The first one is I know Salk was on while he was golfing today, and I just want to say I can personally guarantee there will be no country western music on the charity golf event.
No, there will not.
Second thing.
Yep.
Can confirm.
Okay. Yep.
Well, I guarantee it's not. It won't come from our side. That's all I can say. Second thing, every time Lyle gets a segment or fills in for somebody on a holiday or gets to talk about what Lyle knows about on this show, he is unbelievably good.
He sure is.
So I've listened to probably every show of yours. I listen to you while I'm working at night and stuff on the replay, and I've probably listened to every show you guys have done in the last 6 years, and I think Lyle's a breath of fresh air when he's on point.
Ray, I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you. That is Ray down in Portland. Thanks for listening so much, really, to all of you out there. It is humbling looking at some of the numbers and the ratings, and it's awesome. I know the Mariners and the Seahawks are major engines of that and drivers of it, but certainly Mora's work, adding Lyle. And the beauty of you, Lyle, is you're not even a character. See, Boy Howdy, he had to be a character at times, right? I mean, Boy Howdy would come in, and he was theatrical, and he's had all those artistic gifts, and he'd bring all that flavor. He'd make his songs, he'd sing, he'd do all that separate. You were around him, right? There was some caricature.
Oh, big
Boy
time.
Howdy.
Big time.
Not to Lyle.
No.
There's no faking the funk on the nasty dunk.
No.
What you see is what you get, right, Lyle?
Pretty much, yeah. It's not an act.
Just straight up, rock solid analysis.
Yep. And the next time someone asks you your favorite class, Lyle, do what a lot of the football coaches that I've interviewed over the years do. What they do. Say petroleum engineering. In essence, PE. It's just, sounds a little bit better than PE. You love petroleum engineering. You love PE. So there you go. You can have that one in your back pocket. Thank you to all you listening on this Friday. It's going to be fun tomorrow, Brady. Going to be really, really entertaining. And you know it, right? You know it. I know it. You're going to be 4, 5, 6 plays in these kind of games that tend to be the ones that we talk about, just like that Hollister near PI or near touchdown, 6, 7 years later.
Yeah.
More than likely, there are going to be 6 or 7 plays that'll define the number 1 seed. And, well, we're just a day away.
It is going to be really exciting. Yep. I mean, I look forward to covering every Seahawks game. I really do. But, this is the kind of game where you just feel fortunate not only to be able to watch, but to be able to be there in person and to be able to put it all into context and make it make sense afterwards. So, very fortunate.
I appreciate you filling in, man. Filling in for old Salky so he can go do his thing. He will be back at it. We will, I know, through the whole month of January and hopefully through a playoff run to a Super Bowl that they get this number 1 seed. Numbers tell you got a pretty good chance at that. Appreciate Mora doing all the work behind the scenes. As always, Lyle, you see what you see is what you get, man. He is the real McCoy. But for this day, as we hand it over to Bump and Stacy for this day, the first day of this show in 2026, the Hey Brady.
In the barn.
Get to the chopper!
Yeah, it's about to go down.
Bump and Stacy. Weekdays 10 to 2.
The NFC West and NFC number 1 seed. 2 open battles that are really settled with 1 game Saturday night.
It's all about Brock Purdy. Can you rattle him? Because when he throws interceptions, this offense just doesn't go. And quietly, Christian McCaffrey is putting together another great season, and ain't nobody really talking about him. Usually he's the guy who's hurt, who's banged up, who you're waiting to get back, and he's been solid all year.
Only on Seattle Sports.
Want to make 2026 your year of adventure? Book that trip and learn a new language with Babbel. Go ahead, make a resolution you can stick to. Now is the time. Babbel's New Year sale is here. Unlock all of the languages on Babbel with the lifetime subscription for 65% off. Just go to Babbel.com and start today. Babbel teaches you relevant words and phrases, so you can start speaking with confidence in as little as 3 weeks. And because Babbel's bite-sized lessons fit easily into your daily routine and are easy to remember, you'll be talking like a local in time for takeoff. Dive into the world of language learning content with Babbel's videos, podcasts, and stories from around the world, full of culture bites and language learning tips. Turn your daydream into a destination this year with Babbel. But don't wait. This offer ends January 15th. Get Babbel's lifetime access for less at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Everybody loves the season of giving, but now the season of paying for it is upon us. That not so wonderful time of the year when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, stare in horror at the balance, and resolve then and there to find new ways to save money. If you're among those Americans, why not start by cutting your wireless bill in half right now with Pure Talk's Saver Plan? It's easy. You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super-fast, nationwide 5G network for just $20 a month. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Ho, ho, ho. And if you're active or former military or a first responder, you'll save an additional 20% every single month. That's pound 250. Say Mike Rowe for the gift that keeps on saving from America's wireless company, Pure Talk.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing.
Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with AutoPay, plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Google of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy, inviting you to come work with IRG. And Shannon, what kind of staff are you looking for at IRG?
Brock, we're looking for all kinds of clinical staff, physical therapists, occupational therapists, athletic trainers, certified occupational therapy technicians, physical therapy assistants, you name it on the clinical side. We are looking for those folks. But we are really looking for folks that want to come to an organization that want to be part of our culture and change the culture and work with us to provide the best care and service we can to our patients, our team, and our community.